From Hofstra Stadium in Hempstead, New York, Cablevision Sports presents a Nassau County Conference 1 showdown, a battle of the undefeated, the Farmingdale Dalers taking on the Freeport Red Devils. Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, along with Wayne Morris on my left, Tom Howard on my right, on a chilly but wonderful evening if you're a football fan. These two teams, perennial rivals, coming into the final game of the regular season undefeated. If we take a look at the Conference 1 standings, you'll see Farmingdale slightly ahead of Freeport, the defending champion in the power ratings. Elmont, Baldwin, Hicksville all have a chance at a playoff spot. Well, all eyes tonight are on this battle. Of course, last year, it was Freeport coming out as the Long Island champions dramatically, winning over Comac, Tommy Howard, and they had to get through Farmingdale, knocked them off in the championship. But this year, Farmingdale looking to avenge last year's defeat, and they've got a great football team this year.
They certainly do, Barry. You know, we have a great matchup this evening because we have two 7-0 teams going against each other at the end of the year. We have two of the best coaches in Nassau County going against each other, and we have great matchups. We have Randy Earl and DeBrickshaw Ferguson, two of the best linemen in Nassau County going against each other, two of the best linebackers in the state, Matt Albanese and Jerry Mackey. So it's some real great matchups we have, but usually I'll tell you defense is the key. Today it's the Farmingdale's offense, which really has to be the key to the game, Barry.
Well, offensive line could be a key today. Robbie Bonagora is one of the guys who's been running the football very effectively this year for the Farmingdale Dalers.
He certainly has. Rob Bonagora can take the ball inside. He's a tough, powerful, physical runner. He can get some yardage after the play. Last week he had a real great game against Baldwin. He's looking to come out, and the offensive line is going to have to control the football. But really, the quarterback, Matt Danowski, has to be a key also, letting Rob Bonagora carry the ball and also making sure that he's able to put the ball on the money when he has to pass.
Well, the junior Matt Danowski has had a terrific season. Well, Freeport came in, Wayne Morris, taking a look. Everybody was angling for them. Last year's champs, undefeated again this year. They've won 18 straight, and they have shown that they are indeed champions. Despite losing some great players, here they are again undefeated.
Yeah, once again, Russ Sullen doing a great job. He got his team on a roll. They're doing it with all phases of the game. Defensively, only allowing 5 points a game, and they do it with power and speed. I thought last year they had the fastest defense in Long Island. This year, they're even faster, and they're going to use that speed to keep Matt Danowski inside the pocket. Offensively, they're averaging 28 points a game, outscoring their opponents 204-40, dominating, and they do it with a lot of guys and a lot of speed and a lot of quickness.
Well, they alternate a couple of quarterbacks. You'll see them both play tonight. When they turn the football into the hands of a running back, they've got a dandy in Travis Jinks.
Yes, Travis Jinks. I love his name. He's got a good football name, but he's got great skills. You see his stats on the screen. Outstanding ball player, elusive, but he makes the big plays. Last year in this game in the regular season, 2 TDs. In the playoffs, he rushed for 10 times for 85 yards in the championship game. So 8 yards a carry. He's a big-time player, and Coach Krumenacker said that he's the guy that they have to stop in order to win.
Should be a great game, and we'll be back with more from Hofstra right after these messages. You're watching Cablevision Sports.
Delphi student, take one. Student, film 15.
In a time of national tragedy, the Salvation Army has been on the scene from the very beginning. Our disaster relief teams have been providing meals, clothing, emergency supplies, and grief counseling to affected families, individuals, and emergency personnel in New York City. We need your financial help to continue our long-term efforts on behalf of our neighbors in need. Please call 1-800-SAL-ARMY or send a check to the address on your screen. Thank you for caring.
We are back at Hofstra Stadium. Friday night football, only one team leaves with an undefeated record tonight. It's Farmingdale taking on Freeport. Well, good to see everybody. Jimmy Cavallo down along the Farmingdale sidelines. Welcome to our head coach's report. I'll be on the sideline with Buddy Krummenacker, the 9-year head coach of the Farmingdale Dalers. You know, when you talk football with Buddy Krummenacker, it's pretty simplistic. He wants to run the football, control the clock, and play rock-solid defense. When he talks about his defense, he knows he's got to stop the prime-time running back for Freeport, Travis Jinks. He hurt us in the past. Don't let him get into those cutback lanes. If Travis Jinks gets off tonight, it will mean that Freeport is running the football, controlling the clock, keeping Farmingdale's offense off the field. How about offensively for Farmingdale? They must find a way, in the words of the coach, to penetrate the Red Devil defense. They know they have been outstanding, letting up less than a touchdown a game. So he said, go out there tonight, let's penetrate these guys. Doesn't get too fancy from Buddy Krummenacker. He's a Bill Parcells kind of guy, nuts and bolts. Just go out there. Let's go after it. We came into this year with expectations. Let's finish it like we started. Now for a look what the Freeport head coach is thinking. We send it over to my partner, Hal Sass.
Thanks, Jimmy. You know, I'm standing on the turf right here at Hofstra where last November on a cold afternoon, Mike Perhalis, the quarterback for Comac, sacked by Freeport's Eddie Gordon on a 2-point conversion, and Freeport holds on to win the Long Island Championship. Well, not much has changed in the past year since that November afternoon. Of course, the quarterback is gone, Chris Richey, rather, for Freeport. So how do you replace him? You replace him with 2 quarterbacks, one a sophomore, one a senior, one a better runner, one a better passer. They have a 7-0 record. They've won 18 in a row. Things are looking darn good for Freeport. But how do you beat Farmingdale tonight? Well, they're going to have to stop the quarterback, Matt Danowski. Russ Sellin, the head coach of Freeport, says he is the absolute key in this game. He's offered a different look for this Farmingdale offense, a look that they have not seen in the many years that these two teams have played each other. So the key today for Russ Sellin and the Red Devils is stopping Matt Danowski. That's it before the start of this game. We'll take a break, back with the opening kickoff starting lineups right after this timeout. It's Farmingdale and Freeport up next on Cablevision Sports.
Hello, I am the SLA 3000. I function as CEO of Compudom. Back in the year 2001, Compudom installed LightPath's voice, data, and internet services, enabling me to evolve. Today, with the help of LightPath's fiber optic communications network, Compudom is able to dominate the market. Ha ha. Thanks, LightPath.
ESPN Wednesday Night Hockey. A season-long showcase for the biggest stars and greatest rivalries. Hockey's biggest night is now Wednesday night.
Stopped by Patrick Waugh.
ESPN Wednesday Night Hockey.
Don't miss hockey's biggest night. ESPN Wednesday Night Hockey. A season-long showcase for the biggest stars and greatest rivalries. Watch it on Cablevision.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Adelphi University. Catch him at www.adelphi.edu or 1-800-ADELPHI. And by Cablevision Local Programming, TV that's close to home. And Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York on a cool but should be a red-hot football game. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard. And my sidekick, Wayne Morris. As we get set to go, Buddy Krummenacker looking on, hoping to avenge a couple of losses. Farmingdale's had some tough times against this Freeport team the last few years.
They really have, Barry. They've lost 4 of the last 5 meetings that they've had with Freeport, and Buddy said, we need to get in the right column tonight. We need a win tonight. We have to get these things straightened out.
Well, you see the very tough Farmingdale club, the Red Devils with their classic red uniforms and white numerals. There's referee Donnie Lundergan, and he's got an excellent crew working tonight. Umpire Dennis Crane and the linesman Peter Siegman, line judge Kevin Healy. So the officials getting ready for the playoffs, which start next week, and it should be a great game tonight.
Barry, it really has it's a dress rehearsal. It really is. This is a great opportunity for 2 teams undefeated to play. Nobody else is getting this opportunity to play at Hofstra under the lights in a real championship-type playoff atmosphere, and it doesn't matter whether they win or lose because they're going to come back and do it again. including the officials.
And we want to remind you that this was a game that originally was scheduled for the first week of the season, but due, of course, to the World Trade Center tragedy, the game was moved back to this week.
As always were in Nassau and Suffolk County and the Catholic High School League, they moved to this weekend, and we have some real good ones because you have the top two seeds meeting each other throughout the counties. So it's going to be some classic football here and throughout Long Island this weekend.
Well, you see the Dailies getting ready, Wayne Marson. Wayne, these two teams could likely face each other in 2 weeks for the Conference 1 championship. They will finish 1-2 no matter what happens tonight.
And what you do, this game, you have a chance to send a message to the other team. You come out here and smack somebody in the mouth, you're planting the seed for 3 weeks down the road. So this is what's going to come out this game. The emotion and the confidence level. If Farmingdale can come up with a victory, it gets their confidence level up because they haven't beaten them in a while. And if Freeport wins, it's just Farmingdale might say to themselves, we cannot beat these guys. So it's very important.
Okay, right off the bat, Farmingdale got what they wanted. They wanted to win the toss to defer so they could go on defense first and still get the ball back in the second half. They will be kicking off, Barry.
Danny Sion will be kicking off to this superstar, Travis Jinks. He can fly. Travis, number 21, standing back at around the 10-yard line. And he angles it to the far side. Huggins will take it at the 25, and Huggins will be driven out of bounds. Huggins, of course, just back from a broken hand that he suffered in the second game of the year.
And they must have not been watching last year's playoffs because he returned back for a touchdown in the opening round of the playoffs. So, they kick it away from Jinx, but they're kicking it to Josh Huggins, who ran the ball back last year for a touchdown in the playoffs. So they got dangerous return men.
Wayne, they always kick the ball into that right corner, and that's exactly what they did.
Randy Mills will be starting. We mentioned they alternate the quarterbacks. He's the better thrower of the two quarterbacks. Jared Jackson, Randy Mills will alternate. Randy's just a sophomore, but a brilliant future. And Randy right there, bringing his club to the line of scrimmage. They work out of a run and shoot, basically 4 wide receivers and generally a single setback.
This year, Freeport has an excellent running attack. A lot of times, depending on the quarterback, they're passing and running. This year, they may run a little more than they're going to pass, but looks like they're going to open up passing.
Out of the shotgun at the 30-yard line, looking downfield, throwing for the sideline, and it is going to be complete at the 45-yard line as he found his receiver, Javian Eason, for a nice gain of about 7 on the play.
And I like what Javian Eason did. He came back to the ball, helping his young quarterback out. First play of the game, he's running an out route here at Hofstra Stadium. And we get the offensive line. The Brickshaw Ferguson, runner up last year for the best lineman in Nassau County, the Jerry Mackey. Miles, Grubbs, and Gutierrez. Good line.
Grubbs an outstanding player, but just doesn't get the recognition, perhaps. But he and Mackey and Ferguson, outstanding players. Ferguson and Mackey on the same side of the line. Mills to throw, throwing deep. It could be a pickoff here, and he overthrows his receivers back defending on the play. Brendan Skakani almost picked it off.
And what happened, guys, was Josh Huggins and Delliston, number 26, got caught up into it. They tripped each other down. So he was throwing on timing, and what happened, the two receivers collided, so there was nobody out there. And we talked about Jinx in the open, Rettmeyer, Eason, Barrett, and Delliston. The explosive set of backs.
Brings up a key third down situation because Farmingdale's strength in the defense is the run defense. It's almost a running situation, 3rd and 1.5. So let's watch and see what happens, Barry.
Janae Delliston lines up wide to the left. They go to spot to the left side. Out of the shotgun at the 40-yard line. Randy Mills handing off. Jinx picks up the first down as he drives to about the 45. A gain of about 10 on the play before he's brought down.
And there, Tommy, you saw a lot of his quickness and ability there. You're going to see a good hole, Tommy, and you're going to see the spin move once he gets in the hole. He's a simple straight ahead handoff on a draw, and watch the spin move off Bonagoro, who's an outstanding tackler.
Yeah, Robbie Bonagoro, number 8, does a great job of tackling. I'm sorry, that was Matt Albright. Robbie's number 9. Matt missed a tackle, one of the best linebackers in the state, and unfortunately missed a tackle for Farmingdale. Therefore, it gives a 1st and 10 for Freeport. Take a look at Romano, Monroe, Bassetti, and Randy Earl. Randy, the real deal, Earl up there, hoping to have a good game today.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Again out of the shotgun, the inside handoff. And this time, Jinx with great leg drive, drives forward. Looked like Yinka Bosidi had him stopped for a loss on the play.
Barry, I've seen Farmingdale play every game this year. No one has run on them like that. He just carried 4 men. So we may be talking about leg strength. We may be talking about speed. He has it all. Defensive linebackers, Brennan, Albany's one of the best linebackers in the state, Bonagoro and Presti. Defensive secondary we'll take a look at with Steve Panarelli, Walter Solinsky, and Brendan Candy. Well, they picked on him a little bit during the year, but we'll find out right now what's going to happen.
Trips to the right. Rietmeyer out along the right side as they again work from the shotgun on 2nd and 7, and falling on the football will be Mills. It'll be a loss of about 5 on the play.
But heads-up move right there. Big game. He drops the ball. He doesn't try to pick it up. Young kid decides he's going to get right on the ball, fall down, and we'll come back and we'll pick it up on 2nd down. Excellent move right there by the quarterback.
Yeah, that's a little sophomore nervousness right there, dropping the snap on the shotgun. But as you mentioned, he did a good job just not trying to run with it and falling on the ball. And unfortunately, he had some receivers open down the field. So, they're going to come back here on 3rd down.
Russ Sellen is showing us something also, deciding in a big game like this to start a sophomore quarterback. He's basically saying you're taking controls now, you'll take it throughout the playoffs.
They'll alternate, though. They've done it all year. Jacks and Mills, 3rd and 11. Again, out of the shotgun with time at the 35, throwing for Delliston. Delliston makes the catch close to the 1st down marker at around the 36-yard line.
Excellent throw. And a good job by Delliston. He got enough for the 1st down. And we see this all the time, Tommy. Receivers on 3rd down. He's going to run a simple curl route. One of the staples in the run and shoot. They run a guy at the flat and curl behind the backers. But the key thing here, Tommy, is that he got enough for the 1st down. So when he had to come back to the ball, he was right at the sticks. Excellent job by a young receiver.
Robbie Bonagoro, number 9, dropping back to hook zone, and he drops to the middle of the field instead of hook zone. He would have been right in the way. He needs to get to his position. 4-4 Farmingdale runs. You got to get the 2 linebackers in the hook zone, the other 2 in the flats. 1st and 10 is Don London against Singleton. 1st and 10 for the Red Devils.
But the problem with it is when you face a run and shoot with 4 receivers in the pattern, they stretch the field and they put pressure on the zone defense because the guys crossing, guys hooking up the zone. They're not exactly sure where to set up on defense because they usually don't face a run and shoot. So, it's a strategy of X and O's.
1st and 10 at the 36, trips to the right. Looking to the left side, now back to the right, looking downfield. He's got Rietmeyer out there, and he drops the football. Rietmeyer had a touchdown. The super sophomore who's had a terrific year, but he could not hold on to the football.
It's amazing. Eric Rietmeyer is down. He understands the offense. He's a tough, fluid, good-handed athlete, and unfortunately on that play, he ends up dropping Randy Mills' pass.
But here's the thing about the run and shoot right here again. They're going to spread the field. They swing Jinx out in the backfield, and he's just picking a zone to where he sees an open man. And you see Rietmeyer just simple, straight up the hash marks. Panarelli coming over late because he's got pressure on the outside by the curl route in front of him. So you see he looks left, and he's coming back right. I like the way he steps into the throw, and that last hand by Steve Panarelli, waving in the hand, might have distracted Rietmeyer and causing him to drop the football.
2nd and 10. He's got an open receiver. Fine catch by Rietmeyer. So he comes right back to the sophomore. This is quite a combination. The 2 sophomores, Randy Mills and Eric Rietmeyer.
Barry, there's no question that Farmingdale needs to put pressure on the quarterback early. They're sitting in their 4-4 defense, and they better make some adjustments to get pressure on the quarterback, because if they don't, they're going to start picking them apart.
And Tom, you touched on the matchups between the offensive and defensive line for Farmingdale and Freeport. It's a watch. I mean, these guys are talented. They're big. The front 7 against the offensive line. The difference where Freeport has the advantage is the speed on the outside with the receivers versus Farmingdale's defensive backs, and we're seeing that right now.
All right, now they come with Barrett in the backfield with Jinx. Out of the shotgun, Mills rolling left, looking, throwing. He's got a receiver open for the 1st down again, and it is Rietmeyer once again coming up with the 1st down catch.
One more time, Barry. Farmingdale is rushing 4 men. Even the linebackers looking to blitz and decide to come back. They might have been faking it, but they need to put pressure on the corners, and they're not getting the pressure on the corners.
And Farmingdale's playing the zone, which usually confuses a young quarterback. It's easier for a young quarterback to throw against man-to-man, but here you're going to see Jinx helping out on the corner. They seal the defensive end, and he's just picking the open man.
But when you have that means you can blitz a linebacker, and that's what they need. They just double-team the man on one side, they double-team Randy on the other. If 4 of their offensive players are doing that, there has to be freedom for a linebacker to get in.
1st and 10 from the 23, trips to the right. They go, quick hitter Jinx into the secondary, 1 man to beat. Jinx will go for a touchdown. 23-yard burst up the middle by Travis Jinx, his 13th rushing touchdown of the year.
And I tell you what, we talked about the spin move on the first one. He puts a move on the free safety around the 5-yard line to get into the end zone, and he's just showing his big playability, which we talked about, and his speed, quickness, and the ability to make big things happen in big games.
Well, he certainly broke through the hole quick. He got through that hole extra fast.
Mike Hurley to attempt the extra point. The hold by Mills. Kick is up, and the kick is perfect. So Freeport opens up with a beautiful drive as they go on to take an early 7-0 lead with 7:23 to go, and the pass set up the run there in that sequence.
And it certainly did. We're going to take a look one more time at the touchdown. You're going to watch right now as Randy Mills takes the ball. He's handing off. Travis goes right at the middle. You see Walter Solinsky coming to your picture. Walter's going to break down right now to make the hit, and he just cuts off and he reaches. It's too little, too late. Panarelli coming into the picture now to make the tackle as he hits the end zone.
Tommy Grubbs, number 62. Watch the block here.
Good
Just
trap
a trap block on Yinka Bossetti. Tommy Grubbs comes. Yinka standing up high, hits him from the side. Does a good job on the trap up the middle.
But you see how quick he got through the hole. And good job, Barry, doing some color commentary there. Breaking down the play, Barry. Good, excellent job there. Barry coming out of his play-by-play role to break down the running play.
Got to give those linemen a little bit of help there.
That.
You know, 67-yard drive. Jinx with a couple of nice runs, but Randy Mills really engineered that drive beautifully.
He certainly did. He sat back. He picked the defense apart, and the 2 or 3 of the passes were right on the money. They were low. They were in the ground, but where nobody else could get it but his receiver. And then on a key third down play, Barry, he hit the receiver over the middle and got the first down.
Interesting that he came back to Rietmeyer on consecutive plays. His
sophomore
dropped it, and he came right back and he got the big first down there.
Now, just like in any heavyweight fight, Barry, you get hit, you got to be able to answer and come back with a flurry. It's very important. The Farmingdale now takes the ball, moves into, even if they don't score on this drive, moves into good field position and shows that they can drive the ball also.
Farmingdale's had a potent offense. They came from a tough game last week, beating Baldwin 21-14. Last 2 weeks, they've had some tough games to stay undefeated. Had to come from trailing Uniondale 20-0 to beat them 35-20, and then a tough game last week, a 7-point win over Baldwin.
And that shows character. They're able to come back. They know they can get down. They can get down 2 touchdowns to Freeport and still be able to come back. They don't want to do that, but they could. So.
And this one will be taken at about the 2-yard line by Bradley, and he will only get to the 10. Excellent coverage downfield. Little Gerard Bradley, 5'3" speedster, got really leveled as he got maybe back to the 10. Bad field position for the
Excellent
Dalers.
downfield speed by the Red Devils. They got downfield. They got to the outside of the blockers. As the wedge went forward, there was nobody to block. The Red Devils came in from behind and hit Gerard on the 10-yard line. Take a look one more time on this kickoff. Watch, Farmingdale's trying to get a wedge. Bradley gets the ball deep. Probably would have gone into the end zone, but now they're coming on the outside. They all came in by the outside. Farmingdale's wedge was up the middle, and they beat them.
And it's Travis Jinks making the tackle. Man scores a touchdown, and he comes down and makes the tackle on the kickoff. We like that.
Start with the power eye, and Bradley gets maybe back to the 12-yard line, to the line of scrimmage, before he is wrapped up very quickly by that very quick defense. And it'll set up a 2nd down play as we take a look at the defense right there. And it is an outstanding, very quick defense. Charles Butler, number 36, making the stop. Matt Danowski is the quarterback. He's had a terrific season. He's rushed for 4 touchdowns, thrown 6 others, and he's really made this offense go.
He really is. He is the person that makes the offense go because he has the ability to scramble and make things happen. He's a winner, Barry.
Going to mark it at the 14, a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Again, they go off the right side. This is Bonaguro, and he won't get much, maybe to the 15-yard line before he is taken down, setting up 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's going to be they're in a situation they gained 1 yard on the first play, maybe 1.5 on that play. They're in a situation now where it is 3rd and long, and in this field position, I don't think you're going to see anything too tricky.
No, and if I'm Farmingdale, I think I need to, if I'm right-handed, I think I need to go left-handed. Run away from DeBrickshaw Ferguson, run towards Charles Butler, and it's going to be tough times running off that right side today.
Well, Robbie Bonagura can catch, and he can, of course, run the football. Passing situation here, they go with Skakandi, flanked at the bottom of your picture, and on the option keeping, and now the flip to Bradley, and he won't go anywhere. Maybe got to the 16-yard line before he's taken down on the play, setting up a punting situation.
Got to stay on your stalk block down the field. Bradley did get the pitch. Now he did a good job of pitching the ball at the right time. All the relationships were good, but the stalk block wasn't held.
Oh, boy, I'm up here shaking my head because Josh Huggins had a chance to absolutely ignite Gerard Bradley, but I think because of that broken hand, he may have gone in there a little tentative. That receiver out there has got to do a better job of helping out his tailback on the pitch.
Robbie Bonagura to punt, standing back at around the 5-yard line. They'll get excellent field position out of this. Line drive kick takes it at the 46.
This is Huggins. Ooh, and he got hit hard. Fumbled the football after he got hit. And let's see, are they going to give it to Farmingdale? They think they've got it.
Well, there was a fumble. There's no question the ball was loose. So whoever comes up with that ball, it's going to be that team's ball. It looks like it's a red ball, though, right now, the way they're coming up. And there it is. They're pointing. It was a fumble, and you see number 24, I believe, for Freeport ended up coming up with the football. And we don't even have him on our roster. So.
And I always like this, Tommy. You know I'm a receiver, but I like talking about the big guys running down on the kicks. Number 65, Yinka Bosede. When we see this replay, you're going to see him hustling, and we catch the end of it, and he makes the big hit, causing the fumble. So far, we got our big-name players showing up so far.
Number 2 is the one who came up with the football. That's Steve Barrett, and he was the last one to jump on the pile.
Well, Bosede really gave him a shot. And now Freeport, which marked 67 yards in their first possession, takes over in great field position at the Farmingdale 43-yard line. And as we mentioned, they have been alternating quarterbacks. Right now, Huggins will line up with Eason and Rietmeyer as 3 wide receivers in a trips to the right formation. Everybody else still back in the huddle.
Well, they have it, they'll signal back into the quarterback and tell him what patterns they're going to end up running, Barry. And basically, this is a set play. You can see he's coming out of the T formation, out of the shotgun, which he ran a lot in the first series.
On 1st and 10. Here's the handoff. Jinks taken down. Excellent play by Danny Brennan, the outside linebacker, number 5.
Danny's a great athlete, excellent lacrosse player, face-off lacrosse player on the Farmingdale team, and has good speed. And you saw right there, came up, made the hit, and did what was necessary, because if he would have broken that corner, it could have been off to the races.
Let's go down to our colleague on the sideline, Hal Sass, fellas.
Thanks, Barry. Eric Rietmeyer, injured on that first possession, came down hobbling a little on that left ankle. It was an ankle that he injured last week. It was a sprain. He worked out this week, was able to play with it. He rolled it on the turf here. He went over to the sidelines, taped it up. As you can see, he's back in the game. He's a tough kid. He said he'll be okay. Back upstairs.
All right, Hal, thanks very much. Pass goes to Rietmeyer. Rietmeyer gets a nice block from Delliston down the sideline. Rietmeyer stepping out of bounds. Very close to a first down.
Too many missed tackles on the Farmingdale side of the ball. That happened again right there. You have to come up and make the tackle. Unfortunately, in the first drive for Farmingdale, they made a few missed tackles. Same thing happened right now.
Yeah, and the corner, Brennan Scandy comes up and takes a wrong pursuit angle. It's a screen to the outside. They're blocking. He's trying to get to the outside. You got to come up and take away that outside shoulder. You can't go for a fake inside and give up the outside. So, he's got to do a better job at coming up and forcing it back into his help.
Very important that you do force it back in, because remember, if you're the last person, there are 10 men inside of you, so force it back in. There's no one outside. You turn him out, he's off to the races.
Rietmeyer has had 5 touchdown receptions so far this year. He'll line up as a wide receiver to the right on 3rd and short here, 3rd and 1. They'll operate from the I formation. Let's see if they go deep. Everybody else in tight now. Movement on the line of scrimmage right there.
That looked like Yinka Bosedi jumping off sides. He made a good hit before, but made a mental mistake right there, Barry. Jumping off sides on 3rd and 1 gives an automatic first down to the Red Devils.
Yeah, and before this play, sitting up thinking they got one-on-one coverage on the outside, I wouldn't have been surprised if they went up top there, because they are inside the 35, so they probably would have went for it anyway. So they had single coverage for the first time out here on the wide side on Rietmeyer against Panarelli. So don't be surprised if the next time they get in that situation, they decide to go up top.
And if you remember last time when Rietmeyer and Panarelli were together, Rietmeyer dropped the ball after he had faked out Panarelli.
Huggins in the ball game, slot to the right side from the shotgun. Mills looking downfield, throwing on the run, and he complete wide open once again, Eason. And Eason at the 10 has the first down.
Barry, I can't stress enough that if it's a timeout necessary, you got to change your defensive philosophy to get pressure in the guy's face immediately. And I realize they have a lot of people out there you're going to be taking something away, but 2 strong linebackers in the middle of the field right now on passing situation, which is almost every down with them, is not helping Farmingdale.
Yeah, they sit back there in cover 3, and the linebacker, the flat guy, could not get outside in time to knock that ball down. So they sit back in the zone because they're afraid of the speed on the outside. So you exchange the safety net of the cover 3 zone in exchange for the pressure, because you can't blitz if you're in the zone. So, they're saying, okay, we're going to let you go down the field slowly.
From the 11-yard line, they could get a first down at the 1. Mills rolling as time, throws incomplete. Delliston had his hands on the ball, and it goes incomplete. setting up a second down play.
And the same thing, they're in the zone again here, which I disagree with. You're down here, you don't have to worry about getting beat deep because you're inside the 12-yard line. Now's the time you got to switch it up, play man, and come after the quarterback.
Goal line defense 99% of the time is a man defense. You got to lock up on the guy and you got to put pressure on the quarterback.
But they were in zone that time, and it almost cost them. It was a good job of getting out there on the flat by Will Presley, number 80-40 outside linebacker. But that's a hard position to be in because you're down worried about the run, and then here you got to run out to the flat. So they should man up right here if I'm Farmingdale.
Mills is 6 for 9 for 62 yards. 2nd and 10 from the 11. From the shotgun, he's got 2 backs back there with him. Flips the ball out to Jinks. Jinks at the 10. Jinks at the 5. Jinks driving to the goal line. He's in. Travis Jinks would not be denied.
Barry, I might have said Farmingdale was missing tackles before, but you know something? This guy is impressive. He is an impressive running back. He is running over people, and I know Farmingdale has good tackles, so he is very, very impressive.
I tell you what, he not only ran over the corner, but he ran over the receiver blocking the corner. So he ran over 2 people, well, the guy in his own team and the corner. They were out there fighting, hand fighting Candy and Delliston, and he came out and said, you know what, I can't wait for you 2 guys to figure out who's going to do what, and he ran over both of them.
Extra point try is up, and it is good, and Freeport has come out and stunned Farmingdale, taking a 14-0 lead. 3:20 to go in this first quarter on 2 brilliant drives, and here's Jinks with the 11-yard touchdown.
And take a look right now. Again, you're going to see Randy Mills roll to his left. He pitches the ball. Jinks takes the pitch, and watch right there. There's a block. He, boom, runs them both over. Says, I'm going to keep going. Runs over 3 more Farmingdale players into the end zone and deep into the end zone.
We're going to
get a different
better
angle.
look now. Watch the pitch, and watch him run over the corner and the receiver right here. Boom. He said, get out of my way. I can't wait for you guys to figure out who's going to win.
Running like a truck.
You know, I'm going to have a point to ask you guys both. Now, I think Freeport had a little more to prove tonight in a sense. Farmingdale was ranked in the MSG Daily News poll number 8 in the tri-state region. They've been ranked high all year. Farmingdale maybe even a little higher than Freeport in some of the polls. Ranked in the New York State poll higher. Freeport says, hey, we're not Swiss cheese. We're the defending champion. Well, and we're not getting our recognition.
Freeport's ranked number 1 in the Newsday poll, which is right here on Long Island. But I think what they also want to show right now, Barry, is the fact that they have an 18-game winning streak going into this. They want to make sure that they're still the team that's recognized. And I agree with you. But not taking anything away from Farmingdale, Freeport just is playing a better football game right now.
And also, you got to remember, when you lose a Chris Richey as a starting quarterback, as they had last year, you start with 2 guys who have proven themselves, you're going to start from lower in the polls in the beginning of the season. So you're going to have to work your way up consistently because without that big-name quarterback, you're not going to get the respect that you would if you had a Chris Richey still in your program.
And this was a first-week game that got moved back. If they would have played him first week, the new quarterback wouldn't have been as hot as he is now. He's had 7 games under his belt, has really developed. Both of them, Jared Jacks and Randy Mills.
Well, remember, this Freeport team's only given up 40 points the whole season. Bradley will take it, but no, he's a touchback as he received it in the end zone. So Farmingdale will start from the 20-yard line. Jinks, 5 carries, 48 yards, and 2 touchdowns, runs of 23 and 11 yards.
Barry, how about Jinks being able to run the ball tremendously? Randy Mills being able to throw the ball tremendously, and their kicking game, which you just saw both times, the ball was within inches of the end zone. That time it was in the end zone the last time out. You see Mike Hurley driving the ball deep, being able to kick extra points. They have it all. Great defense, great speed, really a strong team.
And keep in mind, last year they had an offensive guard kicking extra points. So they're not going to be in the situation they were in last year, forced to go for 2 points all the time.
All right, let's see what Danowski, who's done it all year, could do with his club down 14-0. Danowski on the option, slips away. Danowski to the 20, and he's driven down hard as he picked up maybe a yard or 2 on the play. But you saw the speed of that defense there, the pursuit angle.
They're a very, very quick physical defense, and when you see Matt, a white jersey, out by himself on the corner, 7 red jerseys around him, you know that either the blocking isn't there or Freeport can get to the ball quickly.
And it was outside linebacker Eric Healy that made that play.
Okay, let's take a look at the Farmingdale offensive starters. Matt Danowski, as we said before, the quarterback. You can see right there his stats for the year. So far, 6 TDs, 7 interceptions. We'll take a look at the offensive line and the backs and receivers after this play.
And he's also run the ball very effectively for 461 yards, averaging 6.5. Rolling to his right, he's being pursued by Ferguson. Throws on the run and throws it out of bounds. Incomplete. There is a late flag on the play.
We're going to get a late hit. Ferguson ran a long way to get to the quarterback, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to get a hit in regardless."
But Danowski is down, and this could be devastating. Danowski is down for Farmingdale. Not just a late hit, and possibly a hurt quarterback, which is devastating for Farmingdale.
Well, the way they fell, I'm guessing it was maybe the wing just knocked out of him and he fell on the football because Ferguson fell on top of him. And usually when that happens, you get the wing knocked out of you.
You want to make sure it's that and not a shoulder, right?
Well, Danowski's had a terrific season. He's an outstanding lacrosse player, an All-American as a sophomore. He's been a very elusive runner. And let's take a look at the hit, as it will be a personal foul.
You can see Danowski sprinting to his right. Wasn't even a play-action pass. It's just a sprint-out pass. He gets to the corner. His receivers are not open, so he keeps the ball. He's trying to find somebody who's getting open. Can't. And there's the hit right at the sideline. And the call was, I guess, the late hit. So
it was a proper call. Ferguson has to learn how to slow up and play that sideline and let up on a quarterback.
Lou Getzelman is the backup quarterback, number 12, and they'll stay on the ground with the inexperienced quarterback, the junior quarterback, in there. Bonagura picks up about 3 yards on the play, setting up a 2nd and 7 as they continue to work on Matt Danowski. And, of course, Matt's father is John Danowski, the outstanding lacrosse coach here at Hofstra University. I'm sure he's here watching the game as we look at the Farmingdale offensive line.
Bassetti, Hind, Scott Dale, it's Gale, not Dale, but Kane and Williams are the starting linemen for Farmingdale. Bonagoro, Earl, Albanese, Presti, and Solinsky rounding out the backs and receivers.
Stay on the ground and nothing going right there. Bradley stopped. A loss on about 2 on the play. Jerry Mackey, the middle linebacker, coming up, making the hit.
When you talked at the top of the telecast about the speed of Freeport, how it could be faster than last year's defense, and we're seeing that right now. That defense is quick.
And he got Butler, Grubbs, Tulaja, and DeBrickshaw Ferguson up front.
And DeBrickshaw is a great one. You got to keep an eye on him.
And then Healy, Mackey, and Barrett are the linebackers.
Mackey, of course, headed to Syracuse.
And then the speed of the secondary: Huggins, Paul, Eason, and Travis Jenks.
All right, on 3rd and long, they'll stay on the ground. Bradley spun and driven down. He's only 5'3", 145. As he got to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard before he was brought down on the play. Atulaja, number 56, one of the guys to hit him along with Charlie Butler.
Barry, so far Farmingdale's had 9 offensive plays. They were 3 and out in the first time, gained 4 yards. This time they picked up, other than the 15-yard penalty, 4 more yards. They've had 8 yards in 9 plays.
Robbie Bonagura to do the punting. Huggins is back at his own 30 to receive the kick. High kick. Huggins will call for a fair catch and get it at around the 30, 31-yard line. They'll take it 1st and 10, leading 14-0 with 32 seconds left in this first quarter.
And Freeport doing everything right. We always talk about receivers on the punts not using the fair catch in our telecast this year. And here you see Josh Huggins doing a good job throwing up the fair catch symbol, which we don't usually see on a high school level. So he's doing an excellent job. The thing about the situation right now with the offense of Farmingdale, I mean, the speed, the key was, can they keep Danowski inside the pocket on pass plays and on the option? And they've been able to do that so far. And Danowski, hopefully he's all right, and hopefully we'll see him back in the next series for Farmingdale.
Out of the I formation, we said they use a lot of formations. Now they're working out of the I. Jinks again, slides to the left, breaks 1 tackle, and driven down. Coming up was Albanese after he initially got away from Robbie Romano.
And I'll tell you, I just saw number 40, Mike Monroe for Farmingdale, who's a real tough inside defensive lineman, go down, and he's limping off right now with an ankle injury. So Farmingdale is getting beat up also, where they're getting little nicks and bangs here. You see Monroe right there going off the field, and that could be a big loss for the defensive line for Farmingdale.
He makes things happen, 5'10", 200-pound junior. He's had 30 tackles, 3.5 sacks, a gain of 2, so it's 2nd and 8. And now they line up with a slot to the right, actually 3 wide receivers to the right side. Huggins is in the game offensively, number 14.
An uncovered receiver out here on the right side.
They've got 2 defenders against 3 receivers, and whistle and flag is thrown.
And they were going for the quick screen, and I think that's an audible call, which it should be in the run and shoot. In the run and shoot, whenever you have an uncovered receiver by formation, it's what we call a hot pass. And what you do is you look out at the receiver and you just give him a little wink or something, and they know right away that whatever the play is, he's just going to take one step back and hit you in stride or standing still.
And then you got a block on block out there with both men on the 2D. And if you have a fast team like Freeport is, you can just split right down the sidelines.
As a defense, you have to cover up the receivers. You have to either go to a nickel, or your linebackers have to just open up their split a little bit. That's why in the run and shoot you can run a little bit easier, because you do drag the defender outside of the box.
2nd and 13. Again, 3 wide receivers. Only 2 men defending him on this near side. At the bottom of your picture, they'll stay on the ground. Look at Jinx trying to get away. Cannot this time, as they finally got to him on a superb defensive play. Randy Earl. We've been talking about this Division I prospect. Michigan State, Miami, Virginia, Penn State, all interested in big number 21 who made the play.
Very physical, very, very tough and fast. Generally double teamed by most teams. He's not being heard of tonight so far because he has been double teamed. It's the first quarter's ending. But that time Randy was able to get through as Jinx broke to the outside.
It's all Freeport. Travis Jinx with a couple of TD runs. And the Red Devils lead it after 1, 14-0.
Connie Hayes got her graduate degree at Adelphi University.
When I look back, even I don't know how I did it. Here I was, 30 years old, 2 small children, working, not your typical student. So I worked a little harder, right? Adelphi gave me understanding and flexibility. They made their program fit my schedule. Whatever I've given to these kids, I don't think it would have happened without Adelphi.
Connie Hayes didn't go back to school at Adelphi. She went forward.
Back at Hofstra, Barry Landers along with Wayne Morris and Tom Howard. And let's go down to Jimmy Cavallo.
Guys, the update on the junior QB for Farmingdale, Matt Danowski, and a picture worth 1,000 words. There you go. The pads are off. It's the right shoulder on the late hit out of bounds. Matt Danowski rolled up on it in excruciating pain. And once they take the pads off, you see the emotion on the eyes of the junior QB. You'd have to say, looking at this, Matt Danowski is done for the night on a late hit. Back upstairs.
A very tough loss. What a great athlete he's been for Farmingdale all year.
He's really what makes the offense go, Barry, right now. And it could be a broken collarbone. It could be a dislocated, separated shoulder.
3rd and 16. Mills throwing it, and it is knocked down. Huggins was after it, defending on the play, and almost hoping they try to get to that football was number 19, Brendan Skakandi, but Huggins reached up with the left hand, was open, and just couldn't catch it.
And, you know, going back to Danowski, you hate to see this, because I was looking forward to see this young man all week long. But you see he's going to roll to the right, and Huggins is coming back across the field on a crossing route. And if it wasn't for the fact that he had that broken hand, he probably would have caught that ball. But you can see him struggling with the cast on his hand, and the pass goes incomplete.
First punt coming up here. This is coming from the near side. And a good one by Jackson. Bounces downfield. And it will be another first down opportunity. A Sion with the punt.
One of the things you have to teach your punt team is when you're kicking the ball, if the ball is still rolling, don't fall on it until it rolls as far as it can. Probably could have got 2 more yards out of that.
Well, what an opportunity. Getzelman stepping in against this team, which has only given up 40 points all year. And they're going to have to run the football. They lose the dimension of passing with this young man.
They lose a lot of dimension because of his speed on the corner and his winning ability. But the dangerous thing for Farmingdale right now, Barry, is that Freeport only gives up 6 points, 5.9 points a game. They already have 14, so Farmingdale's in deep trouble.
Panarelli wide to the left. Getzelman will hand off to Earl. Earl playing as a blocking back primarily, gains a yard on the counter to the right side.
Yeah, Randy doesn't do too much running. He usually carries the ball on counters and sometimes maybe on a power play, but they're trying, and again, they're trying to open their offense up a little bit that time. They're trying on first down. Maybe we'll go with a counter back the other way and see if we get that fast-moving Freeport defense, catch them off guard, but no, sir, they're staying home and they do their job.
And that's what you got to do when you got a fast pursuing defense that you mentioned. You got to cross them up and get them over pursue and take advantage of their aggressiveness.
2nd and 9. Earl leaves the game. Passing situation. Panarelli and Skakandi in the lineup as receivers. Out of the eye, gets him and trying to get away. Mackey takes him down for a loss of 7 on the play.
And there's the first blitz that Freeport has shown all day. And what is it? It's on a passing situation. Jerry Mackey, the great linebacker, 6'1", 235 senior, comes right in and he says, "Hello, Lou. I just want to introduce myself to you." Gets him and drops back and is looking at that. Mackey just runs right past his man in the backfield with one hand, and a little slip there by Lou Gettleman.
Matt Albanese missing the block there, number 8. So it'll set up 3rd and long, 3rd and 16. So this much anticipated showdown with Janowski now out, really putting Farmingdale in a huge hole. Out of the I formation, gets him in on the draw, handing to Bradley, and the little guy picks up about 3, maybe back to the 39-yard line before he's brought down on the play. Tommy Grubbs into Breckshaw Ferguson on the tackle. Grubbs is the kind of guy that doesn't get a whole lot of recognition. You talk to the coaching staff, to Russ Ellen, Jimmy Jones, they rave about Tommy Grubbs. 6'2", 245, one of the better defensive linemen in the league.
Yeah, they say he's the best pure defensive lineman in terms of his skills and ability. So that's saying a lot when you got Ferguson on that line as well. So, you know, there's a lot of high praise for him, and he's doing a good job so far.
All right, Bonagura's kick sending Huggins back to the 20. Huggins coming to the near side, looking for some blocking. Huggins still on his feet, and finally down at the 32-yard line. So a return of about 15 yards by Huggins. He'll bring it up to around the 31, 32-yard line, where Freeport takes over, leading 14-0, thanks to 2 touchdown runs of 23 and 11 yards by Travis Jenks.
And Barry, we saw Chris Ryan just get blasted right there on that return by Adelaja. Big O.
The Big O.
Big O.
Leveled him.
And it'll be a penalty.
Otulaja. Great, tremendous
Adelaja. He's a junior, very strong and powerful, 5'11", 205-pounder. There's Jerry Mackey and Donnie Lundigan with the call. I want to remind you folks that you're watching this Freeport Farmingdale Conference 1 showdown exclusively on Cablevision Sports. I want to also welcome our viewers around the tri-state area watching on the MSG Game of the Week.
Great to be on MSG, and we're going to take the block below the waist right here. You're going to take a look right. Well, we don't see it yet. Let's see where. There it is in the back, and it was actually a clip.
Yelliston, I think. No, it was 36 Butler.
It was a light clip if you ever have one.
It was a pat on the back.
No, they called a block below the waist, and there must have been something that maybe we didn't pick up with our camera. That's all I'm guessing.
Ball at the 15, and about a yard gain on the play by Jinks.
One of the things that Farmingdale needs to do at this point somehow is to convince themselves to get back in this game. They need a turnover. You're 15 yards away from your end zone, the score. We want to get in there. We want to get in our end zone, and we're only 15 yards away. This is the closest we've been all game. Somehow, even though we're on defense, we need to score.
Need a turnover. You need to create some momentum, and you've got to do it with that defense, which has been so solid this year. 2nd down from the 14. 2nd down and 9. Make it the 16-yard line. Again, they'll stay on the ground, and this time they got excellent penetration by the defensive line, and a good job by Bositi as he stopped Jinks. Now Jinks has carried the ball 9 times for 52 yards.
We mentioned before about Yinka Bossetti. He's a weight room type guy. He's winter and spring track guy. Good football player, very big, and he's a young kid. He has 16 and a half feet. He's going to be looked at by lots of major colleges. They didn't get a good look at him last spring, but now they're all starting to come in on him.
Maryland, Georgia Tech, a couple of the schools, and Hofstra's shown some interest.
Well, Hofstra's definitely interested in him, and maybe he'll like playing here. You know, he gets a good feel here. Maybe Joe Gardy would like to keep him around.
3rd down and 11. The ball back at the 14-yard line from the shotgun. Mills back to throw. Now scrambling, running. Bonagura misses him, and he's down, maybe shy of the 1st down, but not before he picked up about 10 of those 11 yards.
He's going to be short.
Yeah, he's going to be short. It's a 4th down situation. It's definitely a punting situation as far as I'm concerned. But you know something? Freeport has the ability to pick up the 1st down if Russ Ellen wanted to take a gamble here. You're going to watch right now. Mills takes the ball. He scrambles. He doesn't see a man, so he just puts it away, and he does just a real good job. You see right there, number 9. Robbie Bonagoro get frozen in his tracks.
And what I like about his decision, it was quick and immediate. He didn't make that sophomore, I'm going to take my time decision.
Jacks to punt. Nobody is back to receive the kick here. They don't think they're going to kick. There's nobody back to receive the kick as he boots it upfield, and it's going to roll 15, 20 yards downfield. I don't understand that. And the ball down at the 35-yard line.
Well, I don't have an explanation for you, Barry. I'm just guessing that maybe they thought it was going to be a fake, and they said, you know, we'd rather just take our chances and give them the extra 10 or 12 yards on
from the 25-yard line.
And you're up 14-0. You're not going to risk giving Farmingdale a chance to get back in the game by going for it on your own 25. So, you know.
When you look at that, it's called the risk-reward ratio. And what is the risk and what is the reward? Well, the risk is giving the ball up on your own 25 and letting Farmingdale back in the game. What would the reward be? To get one more yard and still have 70 yards to drive. So definitely it was smart.
That's a 40-yard exchange there because they had the ball at the 25. Now they've got it at the 36. So it's 1st and 10 for Farmingdale. Again, they've lost starting quarterback Matt Danowski to a shoulder injury. Bradley trying to find an opening. That's the best play they've had as he picks up about 5 up the middle. So low to the ground, tough to pick this guy up.
Yeah, what Farmingdale has to do is they have to pick themselves off the mat. They lost their quarterback. That's over with. You can't do nothing about it anymore. Now what you have to do is come out. You got 2.5 quarters to go in this game. You got to score 2 touchdowns to tie, hold it for the rest of the game. So if you got to eat up on the ground, do what you got to do to get in the end zone and play strong. And that's what they have to do.
And go straight at them because you counteract their strength, which is speed and lateral movement. Go straight at them, which they just did.
Out of the I formation. Power backfield. Bradley again off the right side. And he's so small, they drive him back as he picked up a couple of yards on the play. Barrett, the outside linebacker, number 2, coming up with a nice defensive play along with Javian Eason, number 8.
And you mentioned Eason. He does a good job of coming off the corner, closing down the end here. Randy Earl trying to kick him out, but he does a good job of closing down on the guard who's also pulling, and it clogged up the hole, and it allowed Barrett to come back in.
One of the important keys to this game is the offensive and defensive lines, and right now the line of scrimmage, the whole game so far, has been controlled by Freeport.
No question about it. Again, out of that power eye. Bradley looking for an opening, will not get it. Bradley stuffed. He tried to squirt his way through. Jerry Mackey on the tackle.
And what you saw happen there is, as Farmingdale was blocking, Freeport met them. No one went anywhere, and Gerard Bradley ran into the back of his own man, so he tried to spin out, and there comes the strength of Freeport speed, fill the hole, knock him back, no gain.
What's happening, as you mentioned, the Freeport front 4 getting a stalemate, and in the speed of the linebackers and secondary coming and closing on the back, they don't have a chance.
Bonagura to punt, steps forward, booms a high end-over-end kick. Huggins will watch this one bounce and takes a Freeport bounce upfield and will be down at around the 31-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Devils. They scored in their first 2 possessions. Farmingdale stopped them the last 2 times they've had, and Farmingdale unable without Danowski in the lineup to generate any offense.
He makes things happen on the offense. I really believe at this point they're a little scared to throw the ball with Lou, so they're going to, with Matt, they'd have no problem in taking some chances, putting it up. You have to play conservative. They're really going to try to hang in here, I believe, for the halftime, and then maybe make some adjustments in the locker room at halftime of what we could do.
Well, if you remember last year's game in the regular season, it's the same thing. They couldn't run the ball. They got stuffed in the first half, and then all of a sudden they opened it up in the second half, and they made it a game. They took advantage of the Freeport secondary last year, which was the weakness. So you may be seeing the same thing might have to happen here for them to get back in the game.
Except you don't have the quarterback to throw the football. Obviously, Danowski's out. Last year, they did have a quarterback who could throw the football.
Tommy Sinelli did an excellent job.
Defense starting to get some penetration now, and his Jinx tripped up after he picked up about a yard on the play.
But here's the thing, guys. Right now, this game, both teams are playing with house money because you're going to be in the same position anyway come the playoffs. So what you got to do here, in my opinion, is if you don't get Danowski back for the next week, you have to give your young quarterback an experience in trying to throw the football. He can't do it in practice. Practice is not the game. So you're playing with house money today, so why not go out there and try to develop this kid, because you're going to need him possibly next week.
Well, we'll see what happens here right now. It is 2nd down and 10 from the 32-yard line. 4:15 to go. Freeport in the first half with a 14-0 lead. Mills, quick pitch out here to Rietmeyer. Rietmeyer will not get away from the fine open field tackle of Brendan Skakandi.
I'm surprised, though, Freeport now has gone away from what they came out in the beginning. They went trips one way, they went split the other way. They started just pitching and tossing and working down the field. They've gone more to their running game in this second quarter, and they've gone to some shorter passing plays, and I think they've really stifled themselves a little bit with that. But it's not necessary to open it up. You're up 14-0. So now I really think that Russ Sullivan can sit back a little, be reserved.
And as Wayne pointed out earlier, you don't want to give away the whole story. You may have some things in store in a couple of weeks that you don't want to give away for the play.
I don't know that there's any trick plays that these guys have here. I mean, they're just going to move the ball. This is Freeport. They've been playing the same offense for the last 10 years, with Russ, and Farmingdale's been playing the same offense that they play. So there's not much they're giving away.
3rd and 14 from the eye. Mills has been in there all the way. Rolls to his right, looking in trouble, and stumbles and falls back at the 21-yard line. A loss of 6 on the play.
Yeah, he tried to come back, and he actually just went down himself at that point. Farmingdale player was there just to put the finishing touches on, but that was another 3-and-out, 2 3-and-out in a row for the Farmingdale defense as Freeport comes out. Farmingdale has to get a man back right now to catch. It's a little disorganization there going off and on the field, but get a man back to catch the ball.
Now they've got 2. 2 guys go back to receive the kick right now.
Catch it in the air.
Yeah, because here's a chance for Darrell Bradley to make Gerard Bradley to make a big play in the open field.
Poor kick. And it will take a Farmingdale bounce and will be at the 45-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 21. It's a 24-yard kick.
One of the things I've noticed is the Freeport up back keeps backing up. He's getting very close to getting kicked in the rear with that ball, and that could be the break Farmingdale needs.
And that'll also be very embarrassing in the film room. But, Farmingdale, they have another chance. They're at midfield. You can't ask for better field position.
Best field position of the day right now. They're on the 44-yard line going in. Haven't crossed midfield to this point.
I agree with Wayne. You've got to try to put it up to extend the defense a little bit here.
I don't disagree with putting it up, but you got to put him in a situation when you put it up that he feels comfortable with. You're not throwing at your own 30-yard line.
We've got a new quarterback in there for Farmingdale right now. No, Lou Getzelman is still in there. Beg your pardon. Handing off, and the big guy, Bonagura, finally gets some yardage to at the 36-37, a gain of about 7.
You talk about situations. You have one right now here, Tommy. It'll be about 2nd and about 2.5. This is the time to go play action, get the kid's feet wet, going to the sideline, or a little waggle or something. Get him something easy. Put him in a situation where he has 3rd down and still get the 1st down.
And they are. They're opening up their offense, and I agree with you 100%. Put him in a good situation. You still have 2 downs to come back and get it. There's not much time on the clock.
And the quarterback will keep to pick up the 1st down as Getzelman crosses the 35 to around the 34. Looks like they may stop the clock here, perhaps to measure.
Man, he just needs anything, a screen pass, something simple to get him going. And you're going to have to take a shot. I'm not saying, open it up, run and shoot. Let's throw it down the seams, 25 yards. I'm talking play action in the flat, some screens, something to get him going, because you're going to need this kid if Danowski doesn't come back tonight or next week.
Well, you also have 1:42 left in the half, so you're going to have to put it up at some point. I mean, there's no question about that.
They did pick up the 1st down. Clock continues to tick. Skakandi lines up wide to the left. Panarelli wide to the right out of the I formation. Off the left side, Bradley looking for an open field at the 30. Tripped up on a fine open field tackle. And Eason coming up with a very good tackle in the open field.
Excellent tackle. He's sitting back in there cover 2, Tommy. And that's what you got to do as a safety. You read run, you come up and fill, and that's what he did. Great tackle on a hard kick to tackle, because Gerard Bradley's short and he's quick.
But watch how he takes a handoff. Gets to the outside, but watch how he comes up, and he actually gets him right at the ankles. Both, boom, legs, brings him down. Does a real fine job coming up with that hit.
2nd down, they'll stay on the ground, and Bonagura will pick up very little yardage. They'll stop the clock here with 49 seconds left. Timeout taken by Farmingdale. It'll be 3rd down. Here's a look at Robbie, the senior, 5'11", 200-pounder. He's been a terrific lacrosse player. In the last couple of years, a fine football player.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, he's an all-around great athlete, okay? Able to run the ball, has done so. Very hard inside runners so far this year. Again, having a difficult night so far against Freeport because of the great defensive line. But is able to catch the ball out of the backfield and also run the ball off tackle.
Came in with 9 touchdowns rushing. Also caught one as a receiver this year.
And he's averaging 5.5 a carry, but when you play a defense like Freeport, your average per carry generally goes down.
When you're playing a team that only gives up 5.9 points a game.
I want to remind you folks that you can join June Markley each week on Meet the Leaders, the show where important town figures inform you on the policies and issues facing your area. Tune in every Monday through Thursday at 8 on Channel 70. And if you're from Central Suffolk, catch it on Channel 25 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1. And if you're around the East End, tune into Channel 88 Monday through Thursday at 8:30, only on Cablevision local programming, TV that's close to home.
Well, I'm in Queens, and I can't get that show, so there's a problem there. Maybe I got to move out to the island town. You got an extra room in your house?
Absolutely.
Well, Travis Jakes has had a fine first half. Got off to a great start. The 2 touchdowns of 23 and 11 yards. They've held him pretty much in check outside of those 2 runs, 10 rushes, 52 yards.
Travis said, my job is done for today. I got 14 points on the board for our team. When we put 14 up, we don't lose.
All right, big play coming up for Farmingdale here, guys. 49 seconds to go. 3rd down and 3. What do you look for, Tom Howard?
Well, I think it's going to be some type of a play-action pass out in the flat, something short. They're in the power I. They're not open, but nope, they're going to give it to Bonagora.
Bonagora has the first down. Inbounds as he'll get to the 18-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 9 on the play. It'll be a first down.
Terrific block by Randy Earl. He wiped out the entire left side, took Josh Huggins and drove him about 7 or 8 yards downfield, and that opened up the corner because he saw Bonagora bounce to the outside once he saw Earl's block. Good job of blocking, good job of running.
Very quick to the line of scrimmage. It's now 1st and 10 at the 19. Gets him in to throw. Throwing for the end zone. He's got Bonagora out there just over his head.
Robbie turns around. Instead of running straight, he turns around to look for the ball. He trips on his own feet. Keep running your route. He would have had the ball. He was wide open. They snuck the back out of the backfield directly down the middle of the field. They had the 2 deep. They split. They both went wide, and Bonagora was wide open, but he turned around and looked for the ball instead of running straight, and he trips looking over his shoulder.
Perfect pass. And this is what I was talking about. Give the kid a chance to throw the ball. Look at this pass, Tommy. Down the center of the field. Perfect. Perfect. He just got crossed up, as you mentioned. Kind of like a center fielder running with his glove up. You got to run to the ball, then put your hands up. So a little confusing.
All right. Bonagora is the tailback right now as they go with a power backfield. Play action. Looking, throwing sideline, out for Earl, and it's knocked down. Looking for Earl in the end zone as the ball was batted down, and once again, it was Javian Eason.
Excellent defensive job going up for the ball, and what Randy does, and he doesn't come out of the backfield too often, is has to also go high for the ball. He waited for the ball as a defensive back, did a great defensive job trying to catch the ball at the highest point.
Yeah, but my problem is here, you're taking a power back and putting him in a position where a wide receiver should be down the field trying to make a catch over a defensive back. That's a tough position to put Randy Earl in. He's a defensive end and a blocking back. You got to get your receivers involved. Same thing happened with Bonagora. He's not used to running down the seam to make catches. Backs are usually catching the balls in the flat or screen. So it's a tough position to put Randy Earl in.
The only difference is he's 6'3", and maybe that's what you want out there.
But he's 6'3", and Eason is
only 5'10".
Yeah, but he's used to going up for the ball. That's my point. He's used to being back there and looking at the ball from 20 yards away, whereas Earl is not. So the advantage is lost when you put him in that situation. But it was a good thinking and good idea to get the ball down the field. Except you got to start using some of your receivers, the guys who are used to catching football.
Well,
Farmingdale last had a receiver in 1927, though, because we run the ball all the time. We've been very, very successful with it. But seriously, Will Presti is tight end for us and has had an excellent year so far. 226 yards, 10 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. So we do have receivers. I'm kidding.
Tom Howard, of course, the athletic director at Farmingdale. He says we do have receivers. In case you folks watching on the MSG game not aware, there's Buddy Krummenacher concerned right now. Starting quarterback Matt Danowski done with a shoulder injury. Lou Getzelman with 3rd and 10 from the 19 with 26 seconds left and 1 timeout remaining. Getzelman with time, throwing, and there was contact. Flag is thrown. Presti was the intended receiver. Down at about the 4-yard line, there was contact with the defender. Looks like Paul, number 23, might be the guilty party.
Yeah, Presti ran a flag and then back to the post, cut up. The ball was a little overthrown, but there was a man in the way, and they're making the defensive pass interference call on that. and it's going to move the ball half the distance to the goal line. It'll be on the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal from the 10, but only 20 seconds in the half lane.
And Russ Ellen's upset because he's saying this ball's not catchable because he was covered.
Well, high school football, catchable balls don't matter. It doesn't matter. It's whether or not the offensive guy ran into the defensive, which I think might be, the offensive player, I think, ran into the defensive player, and the call was against the defensive player. That's what, I saw a different thing than the officials saw. Let's put it that way.
Good block by Drew Kane to keep Mackey from getting in. And right now it is goal to go at the 9.5-yard line. 20 seconds left. Can Getzelman get him in the end zone? Out of the eye. With time. Throwing, and it is dropped. Dropped by Steve Panarelli.
There's one of our wide receivers, one of the better athletes at Farmingdale High School, and he drops the ball coming in. Again, a nice route. He ran it. It was perfect. And Louis Gettleman's doing such a tremendous job of putting the ball on the money right now.
I hate to say I told you so, but as you mentioned,
take a look. He drops back. He puts the ball right there. It was a touchdown, and it was dropped.
And we talk about sophomore quarterback coming in reserve, but here you got these seniors not making plays for him. You got to make plays for your young quarterback.
All right, down to 15 seconds to go for Lou Getzelman. From the 9-yard line. Looking, throwing, Panarelli! This time will catch it for a touchdown.
How nice to come back, as you said before. They did it with the two sophomores. Well, the two senior and the junior this time teamed up, and he came right back. Steven brought the ball in this time, used his hands instead of his shoulder pad, brought it in for the score, and with 10 seconds to go in the half, Farmingdale has an opportunity to cut the game in half and stay right in it.
And good job by Getzelman finding the seam in the zone once again and hit Panarelli in the slot. Now, I got a question why Freeport's down here playing zone inside the 10-yard line with the athletes they have, but excellent job of reading the defense by Getzelman.
Important extra point coming for Danny Sion. The ball bobbled, and this time Panarelli snowed under at the 19-yard line.
Barry, Matt Danowski is the holder. Matt Danowski's the holder. He's out right now. So what happens is Steve Panarelli, who has the ability to do it, but it bobbles it. Well, I didn't get a good look whether it was a bad snap or whether Steve just bobbled the ball. Danny Sion, waiting to kick the ball, was unable to. Great pressure by Freeport coming in. Extra point, no good. Farmingdale still on the board with a 14-6 score.
Well, 10 plays. They took advantage of the field position, 44-yard drive, a little over 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And Getzelman hitting Panarelli with the 9-yard touchdown pass.
And, they opened it up. They must have been listening to us up here, but they opened it up. And they caught a break on the pass interference penalty. But you make your breaks because if they didn't decide to throw the ball, they would have got that penalty. So they do an excellent job of changing the game plan.
Okay, take a look right here. Drops straight back. He sees the man over to follow him the whole way. Panarelli cuts to the inside, catches the ball right on the goal line, makes the hit. Ball crosses the plane of the goal line. It's a touchdown in high school football.
It's basically the same play to the other side that he dropped the play before. So Panarelli does the same thing, runs a slant route, and does a good job of coming back after dropping the touchdown pass. He's going to make the catch for the touchdown.
Russ Selland didn't look very happy there.
No, he wasn't on his defense. And on the other side, Bud Krumenacker, Pete Mallory, the offensive coordinator, have to be happy to watch Louis Gettleman take the ball and is able to throw the ball. Out of the 5 passes, 4 were on the money,
Well, Wayne was calling for it. Wayne, the receiver here at Hofstra for so many years. Outstanding receiver. Line drive kick with 10 seconds to go. They don't want to return here. Jinks from the 20. 35. Jinks. Whistle blows, stopping play with 3 seconds to go as he crosses the 40. Gain of a return of about 16 yards for Travis Jinks. Freeport got off to that great start, and then they kind of got a little conservative, Tom.
Yeah, they tightened up a little, and again, I think, one of the thoughts is they're up 14-0. They really don't have to pump the ball straight down the field. So they got a little conservative. We went to the running game, and they have a great running game, so it wasn't bad, but they let Farmingdale back in at the end.
Now, the beauty of Freeport's offense is the ability to do both throw and run, and when you mix it up, your defense can't key on one or the other. I think when Danowski went down, he had a 14-point lead. He said, you know what, let's not make any mistakes because they don't have the quarterback. Let's let them back in the game. But, sometimes you just got to keep doing what got you there and go and put the hammer down on teams. But a good recovery by Farmingdale.
Randy Mills takes the knee, and the Red Devils with Russ Selland will head to the locker room with a 14-6 lead, trying to win their 19th game in a row. Their last loss was to Baldwin, and that was 2 seasons ago. Baldwin, of course, went on to play Farmingdale in the championship game. Farmingdale won it.
In overtime.
In overtime, and went on to represent Nassau County and played in the 99 Long Island Championship, losing to Brentwood. So we are waiting as the Russ Ellen-led Red Devils head off the field for Jimmy Cavallo. He's standing by down on the field with Buddy Krumenacker.
All right, standing by to Buddy Krumenacker, Farmingdale head coach. And coach, hey, once again, the Dalers are put in a position to come back as you had to earlier in the season. They respond there. That could be a big touchdown there going into the locker room.
Oh, absolutely. I think, we're back to within one score, and defensively, we got our rhythm defensively. They had their rhythm offensively, scoring 2 touchdowns. I thought they played great offensively, kept us off balance, and had a great rhythm. And now I think we've got the rhythm defensively, and they're struggling a little bit offensively right now.
You knew coming in you were going to have to stop Jinx. You knew they would throw a little bit, but boy, Freeport really came out airing out the football and put up 14 quick ones. Now, seemingly, they want to control the clock and force you guys to maybe throw the ball a little bit. You have your second-string quarterback in there. Is it a big concern if Danowski cannot come back?
He's not coming back. He's got a bad shoulder, and he's damaged, and he won't be back. And Lou's been practicing all year. Lou Getzelman's a guy that we had him ready for the Baldwin game when Matty had a little bit of a knee problem. So he got a full week of work before the Baldwin game, and then Matty played. But we're confident in Lou. I mean, you see what Lou did. Nothing wrong with the way he played. That's a great series for the kid.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Coach. I know you want to get in there and talk to your team. And Lou, big throw right there for the touchdown. Cuts the lead to 8. We are at halftime. Straight ahead here on the Cablevision Sports Halftime Show. We'll take a look at a girls soccer team for Nassau County. Not only have they made headlines in Nassau County, now they're making headlines in the USA, the #1 team. Come on back here to Hofstra. We are at halftime. There's your score, 14-6. Freeport leads it. Yes, sir. Southside Soccer is next.
For an in-depth look at the people that help shape our neighborhoods, tune into Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. As we sit down one-on-one with our community leaders, we'll address the issues that are most important to you and your community.
Hi, I'm June Markley, host of Meet the Leaders. Join me each week as I sit down with our community officials and discuss important issues about your town.
Only on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
If only everything were as fast as Optimum Online.
You okay, honey? I was thinking Wheeler or Cletus if it was a boy. Got a ton of stuff here. Camcorder. For later. It's a boy.
Optimum Online. It's the fastest internet access you can get. No waiting, no warming up to 100 times faster than dial-up. Optimum Online. Call up, log on, stop by.
In a time of national tragedy, the Salvation Army has been on the scene from the very beginning. Our disaster relief teams have been providing meals, clothing, emergency supplies, and grief counseling to affected families, individuals, and emergency personnel in New York City. We need your financial help to continue our long-term efforts on behalf of our neighbors in need. Please call 1-800-SAL-ARMY or send a check to the address on your screen. Thank you for caring.
We are back at halftime at Hofstra. There's your score. The Red Devils lead by 8, but Farmingdale trailed this game by 14 for most of the first half. But the Dalers able to punch one in there as the first half came to an end. So lots of football to go tonight on this big Nassau County matchup. You know, November is the month for scholastic sports on Long Island, where you will declare yourself a county champion or a conference champion or a state champion along the way. Now, when you talk about girls soccer in Nassau County, one of the teams you got to talk about, Southside High School, the Cyclones. They have been outstanding. After an undefeated state championship season a year ago, they have picked up right where they left off this year. Earlier this week, they won yet another Nassau County championship, their 15th county title in the last 17 years. This weekend, they will play Sachem out of Suffolk County to try and become a Long Island champion. Now, with all these accolades here on Long Island, Southside has taken it a step further. They are now being recognized in the nation. Last year, it was #2. This year, it started out #2, and now it has risen to #1 in the USA. It will premiere on Neighborhood Journal on Cablevision as we take a look at Southside High School, who are making noise in the USA. Brockville Center has long been associated with outstanding youth soccer programs, and that brings us to Southside High School, the home of the Lady Cyclones. These girls in the past 17 years have won 15 county championships to go along with 9 state titles. It's within all this success that an interesting phenomenon has developed. Southside High, the little school from Nassau County, is now regarded as the #2 team in the USA.
It's nice to get recognition. I mean, it really, basically, it's in someone else's opinion, but in order to get a positive opinion, you have to accomplish something. And I think the last year's team accomplished something, and these girls are still riding on that wave. You know, like how far they continue to ride it, we're not sure.
Abrams working away to the goal. Abrams, a little chip shot over the cage.
It's really exciting. It's nerve-wracking and everything. I'll have parents like all over town like coming out to me just to find out when our next game is, because like they read about us in the paper, and it's just really exciting and everything.
At first it was just hard to believe that. I mean, you think about the country and there's so many teams out there, and I guess it felt really rewarding that all the work we've put in, I guess, was being recognized, because I'm sure there's a lot of other great teams out there.
Yeah, it brings a lot of pressure just because it's known and everyone kind of expects us to be undefeated and win, but it's much more complicated than that because we have to go through like the games, and it's not just easy to win a game. There's like strategies about the other teams, about us, like our strong points, and it's a lot more than just the winning.
Slowly approaches the ball. Abrams, right foot, and a goal.
After being the #2 team in the country and then later on finding out that we were #2, it was just the most amazing feeling. Every single person on the team worked so hard, and just for each other and for Biggs and just for everyone.
We carry a big team, and I think each one plays a different part, whether they're on the field or off the field or whatever they're doing to contribute to the team. I think that's what makes it so satisfying, that it's not one person that does it all. We depend on each other for success.
So it's another year of walking down victory lane for Southside High School. United, these Cyclones take the field. Together, these Cyclones will look to reach the top. Yeah, those Southside Cyclones right there. If they get by Sachem this weekend in the Long Island Championship, they'll be seeking their 10th state title. Outstanding work for the Cyclones, for the little school out of Nassau County, getting national recognition. If you'd like to catch Neighborhood Journal on Cablevision, well, let's check out some of the air times along the way for Neighborhood Journal. If you're on the Long Island West system, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. on Channel 70. If you're on the Long Island East system, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Channel 25 in Hauppauge, 9:30 p.m. Channel 88 and 86 in Riverhead. Check out Neighborhood Journal. That'll about wrap it up here for halftime. Straight ahead, Barry and the boys will talk about that first half as we head to the second half of play. It's the Dalers and the Red Devils. Lots of football to go tonight. Come on back. We continue with the prime time coverage right here on Cablevision Sports.
Real students.
I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Real pressure.
She's upset. That makes you nervous.
Real lives.
I'm gonna go dancing on Friday. Then I don't want to smell like cows or anything.
Experience the private thoughts, personal confessions, and intimate moments of friends learning just what it takes to become veterinarians. Vet School Confidential. Tuesday at 10:30. Only on Animal Planet.
Don't miss Animal Planet's new series, Vet School Confidential. Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m. on Cablevision.
The gazelephant, the platypussycat. The race to create such magnificent animal hybrids is extremely competitive. But ever since 2001, we've had a technological edge, a fiber optic communications network from LightPath. It allows us to share vast amounts of data with our research partners faster and more securely. And that's led to our greatest success, the Golden Retriever. Thank you, LightPath.
And we're back at Hofstra where the Red Devils lead the Dalers 14-6. Before we start the second half, let's go down to the field. Hal Sass standing by with the
All right, Barry,
Freeport
with the coach. Russ Ellen, Russ 14-6. The young quarterback came out, looked like no nerves, nothing in front of the big crowd. The offense scored 14 quick points, nothing after. What do you do to get the offense jump-started?
Well, it might be a little bit our fault. Maybe we got a little conservative. We got to go back with the original game plan. That's what we plan on doing in the second half.
You were concerned about Matt Danowski being such a key in this game. He is out. Another quarterback comes in. He moved the ball well. He threw the ball really well. What do you do about your secondary? A little bit weak in that first half.
Well, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I know that makes the whole complexion of our offense change. But this kid's pretty good too, and obviously he can do some things that are a little different than Matt Danowski. So in that respect, you know, we're kind of caught in a tough situation too.
Your defense gave up the score late in the first half. What did you say to them in the locker room at halftime?
It's a good team. We're playing a good team. You can't give them any freebies, and they, you know, they earned it. They earned it. We fell asleep and we let them back in the game. Now we got to work it out for us.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Russell and his club leading by 8. Still a lot of work to do in the second half. Back upstairs to Barry Landers.
All right, Hal. Russ Ellen, who recently picked up his 100th win against Massapequa, against his son's team, trying to win game number 102. And take a look at the halftime numbers, and not a whole lot of offense as we look at the numbers here.
No, actually, if you look at the numbers, it's a very even game, except for the passing yards, 62-11. It seems like a very even game. If you watch the first half, you would say Freeport dominated the whole first quarter. A little balance, and as Russ said, I mean, he was right on with everything he said. They did get a little conservative. They ran the ball a little more. Farmingdale, great run defense, stopped them, and we'll see what happens in the second half when Freeport puts it up again. Take a look on the left-hand side. You see Matt Danowski with his arm up, and again, whether separated shoulder or collarbone, we'll find out later.
Talking over there with Jerry Lamb. Let's take a look at the hit that put him out by DeBrickshaw Ferguson.
Okay, take a look here. Matt's rolling to his right. He gets right near the sideline. He finally lets the ball go. Number 60, DeBrickshaw Ferguson, coming in right as he's going to hit the sideline. He sees him. He makes the hit. DeBrickshaw's head's down, while his feet actually were in bounds when he first started touching. His head's down, but he followed it. And a lot of times in high school football, if you follow it and try to get off of him, even the official will let it go.
Farmingdale kicking off, and this one taken at the 15-yard line. And up the middle, Huggins to the 30, and then driven back to the 25.
Very tentative right there on his return. You know, it's funny. It just, you know, I expected Freeport to come out fired up, and he got a little tentative on that hit.
Yeah, I think he wanted to break a certain way and didn't see it, just kind of stopped. And very strange, but decent field position out to the 30-yard line. And guys, on Matt Danowski, I separated my shoulder on the same field on the same type of hit. I got knocked out of bounds. I fell on my left side, and the defender fell on top of me. And my arms weren't extended, and I separated my shoulder doing that. So it's the way you fall sometimes that causes the injury.
All right, let's see if Randy Mills will go to the area, and we're going to get a timeout taken very early here. And they burn one as the sophomore quarterback comes to the sideline.
You can't get it much earlier. 8 seconds into the second half, the very first play. Must have been a little confusion, but again, if you're going to make a mistake, don't hesitate. Take the timeout. Go ahead. And he's a sophomore. He's learning. So, and we can see Russ. Russ isn't, well, he didn't look upset. Now he looks a little upset. But it's like, let's get it right. And he's talking. You see number 2, Stephen Barrett.
We want to remind you folks that you can get informed on both sides of an issue. Watch We've Got Issues. You can join host Dara Wells each week as you lead the discussion on the latest topics that affect Long Islanders. Tune in every Monday and Wednesday night at 8:30 on Channel 70. And you're from Central Suffolk, catch it on Channel 25 every Tuesday and Thursday at 1. And if you're on the East End, tune into Channel 88 every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Cablevision. Local programming, that's TV that's close to home. Well, Mills in that first half was 6 for 10 for 62 yards. Travis Jinks led the rushing in that first half. 10 carries, 52 yards. And a couple of touchdown runs. Play action, Mills to throw. He's got an open receiver. And it'll be about a 9-yard gain to the far side. Once again, Junaid Deliston, who spent a lot of time filling in for Josh Huggins. After Huggins went down early with that broken hand, he's done an excellent job this year.
Junaid, not real big, 5'7", 145 pounds, but lightning fast, very explosive when he catches the ball. He's a track kid, long jump on the track team, Barry, and you saw right there, he came down with the ball, as you see. Good look there at Randy Mills, who's having a great game in a big pressure game for a sophomore.
Penalty will negate that as they'll move the football back. 5-yard loss back to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15.
And it's not a good start. You got to take a timeout before your first offensive play at a half, and then you get a nice pass out there in the flat, and now you get a penalty. So it's not a very good start for Freeport.
3 in a row. The opening kickoff, he comes back and he stops dead at the 30-yard line. Then they have to call a timeout, and now they get a penalty on it. 3 plays in a row, 3 questionable things have happened.
1st and 15 from the shotgun. Mills on the option keeping. Now dumps it off to Jinks at the 30 and out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. Driven out of bounds along the near sideline by Walt Selensky.
I tell you what, of all the plays that Randy Mills has done tonight, that was the most impressive. He came out of the shotgun, came down the line for the option, fake, made a great choice at the line of scrimmage, faked out the defender. You're going to take a look to the right side.
And that defender is, you can see right there, Randy the real deal Earl, and he just got, faked out and then options out, and you can see right there as Jinks carries the ball and picks up good yardage on the play.
Most quarterbacks would be satisfied with getting down the field, but he used his pitch man after he passed the line of scrimmage, and you got to give Travis Jinks some credit for maintaining his separation to the quarterback.
11-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 4 again out of the shotgun. Inside handoff, and they will pick up the first down here on a strong run by Barrett as Barrett gets out to about the 48-yard line, a gain of 12.
And they show that they just don't have one guy back there, Travis Jinks. They have another good running back in Steve Barrett, 5'9", 185-pound junior, very good wrestler, backup tailback. Well, he shows you he can run the ball also. You watch him cut through, finds his hole, breaks off of a tackler, goes back. Steve Panarelli comes up, makes a hit. Steve's a wrestler, takes him down with that upper body throw, but too little, too late.
Draw trap off the shotgun formation. And Bradley, he had 100 yards versus Syosset, so he could run the ball.
Had a 60-yard touchdown run in that 35-0 win last week. And out of the shotgun, Mills rolling left, throws, complete. Rietmeyer has it for about a 5-6 yard gain, his 4th catch of the evening.
And I tell you what, that's good work on both ends, because Rietmeyer was covered when he came out of his break, but he kept on working back to the outside, and give Mills credit for staying with him. And he, initially he was covered and then waited for him to break loose and made a nice throw.
Tommy, it's interesting that Randy Mills was doing our spotting last year in the championship
he was a little freshman JV quarterback who was standing up here spotting for us last year against Comac. As you see right there, he delivers the ball on the money, and as you said, Wayne, stayed with him long enough. He got the catch. He picks up 7 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd and a long 3.
And that was good coverage by the outside linebacker, Will Presley, who's not used to being out there on the outside, doing a good job.
Actually, it's 2nd down. Let's call it about 5, Tom, from the I formation. So they show another formation to the up back, and Barrett will pick up some yardage close to the first down before he's driven back after a gain of about 2 or 3. Again, Danny Brennan in on the tackle along with Matt Albanese.
And they've gotten the most yardage not running at Randy Earl, which is smart. They've gotten their yardage running off the center, off the left side A gap, and that's where they got most of the yardage, up the middle to the left side of the offensive formation, staying away from the Randy Earl, the dominant player on the right side, for right offensive side.
You remember before Mike Monroe, number 40, went out. He was there. Chris Ryan has taken his place and is doing a fine job so far.
All right. Delliston lines up wide to the left. They'll work out of the I formation again. Bradley and Jinks line up in the I. On 3rd and inches, showing blitz here, Farmingdale. Now they back off as Bonaguro backed off, and Mills will take it very smartly right up the middle for the first down.
But again, smart. He saw the blitz. He held on his call. He waited. He didn't change anything. He just stayed, but he waited to the guys. If those guys were there, he probably wouldn't have gotten his inches. Again, for a sophomore quarterback, Barry, very heady kid.
He's going to wait and see what's going on. See, the defense comes up. We missed it. We missed the fake there on the blitz, but he waited to figure out which hole he was going to follow. That's tremendous patience for a guy starting his first game.
Excellent football presence. And I think probably last year, Barry, just being up in the booth with us, he learned everything about football.
Especially from you and Wayne, I'm sure, guys.
And the funny thing was, Barry said, he's a guy taking over for Chris Richey, and he had this scared look on his face like, oh my God, what are you saying? And he's out here doing well.
Well, he and Jinks have been alternating at quarterback, but he's played all the way tonight. Mills to throw. Again, he's got an open receiver trying to juke his way as Delliston. And Delliston picks up about 5 on the play to the 35.
Once again, Beautiful pass. He threw it over the outstretched arms of the outside linebacker who was running to the flat in front of the corner. So he threaded the needle. If we get a look from the back, we're not going to see it here, but patience, waiting for the linebacker, waiting for the receiver to come out of his break clear, and then Delastone's running around there. We're going to see it from this angle right here. You're going to see the outside linebacker running out to the flat, and he gets it over his head in front of the corner.
Wayne, this gives credit to the offensive line of Freeport also. I'm watching the blocking. Jerry Mackey taking on Yinka Bossetti. Watching the Brickshaw, and look at that great break, taking on Randy Earl, doing a great job of giving him the time to throw.
Steve Barrett exploding right up the middle for a gain of around 15 yards to the 20-yard line.
And once again, running behind Tom Grubbs, number 62, the left guard. You're going to see excellent job.
Look at the Brickshaw Ferguson take on who I consider one of the best linebackers in the state, Matt Albanese, and just takes him out of the picture. And you'll see he just took the ball right up the middle of the field. So the blocking on the offensive line of Freeport really is tremendous tonight.
Going to mark it at the 21 as Mills runs out of the field after getting the play on the sideline.
Take a look. You can see the Brickshaw right there, just taking this man, driving him out. People might say, he has his hand on there, it's a little hold. High school football, you give that. That's a great block. You get your hands in there. My thought would be next game, Brickshaw, get some white gloves. Don't use those red gloves. They stand out.
Mills back to throw, throws to the sideline. Eason has it. Eason driven out of bounds at around the 11. It'll be very close to another first down.
You know, they've been running the same pattern all day. You know, Farmingdale, the secondary is going to have to start creeping up, and that's when you get them with the stop and go.
I was going to say, what are you talking about?
But you got to creep up because look how long that pass is. You're behind. You got to try to make a big play. So if you have to cheat, and cheat on the break.
Cheat on different plays. You can't cheat on every play, but you gamble sometimes. It's an educated gamble. You take a look right there. He just takes the ball, puts it out there. Nice touch on the ball. And Steve Panarelli's right on top of it. You see right there Danny Brennan coming over to make the hit also. But
Mills doing an excellent job. 9 for 13, 83 yards. And his passes have been right on the money.
I mean, he's throwing from inside the center of the field, outside the numbers on the out route. So he's showing good arm strength. And what you got to do is, that's the hardest pass to make.
For a sophomore, that's a tremendous pass to make, too.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Eason the single setback. Eason stuffed at the line of scrimmage and driven back. That time they got excellent penetration. Yinka Bosidi, number 65.
Well, Yinka was in there. Matt Albanese was in there. Randy Earl was in there. They were all there. They didn't have it. But Farmingdale hasn't been able to put 2 or 3 of them together in this drive. They have to do that 2 or 3 times in a row, not just one.
Yeah, but that's the 4th or 5th time Yinka Bosidi has shot into the backfield and either made the tackle or caused a disruption in the backfield. You're going to see our guy Yinka. He's off. He's going to come to the right of the screen. He's going to shoot the gap, and there he is. Good job.
And he had help that time, as you saw Earl coming up from the outside. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 from the 11.
Good look at Yinka right there.
From the shotgun. Looking left. His open receiver. Throws, and it is going to be incomplete. At the goal line, Delliston was the intended receiver.
Perfect point of where, though. He put the ball down low and nobody can intercept it. Brendan Canny doing a great job defensively, staying right on the man coming over the top, but still the ball was down low, so excellent job by Randy Hills keeping it low. I can't believe this kid's a sophomore.
All right, let's go down to the field, Wayne, and check in with Hal Sass. All right, apparently Hal not ready to go, so we've got a big 3rd down play coming up here. What do you look for, Tom?
Well, I look for a run or a pass, man.
Wayne, what a very astute comment by
I don't think they're going to quick
Howard.
kick a field goal right now.
Delliston wide to the left.
Well, Delliston's one-on-one outside, and he's got the inside. Look for the quick slant to the left.
He's got against Skidani. And look to the left now. They're looking to fake it. Now looking for Delliston. Knocked down, getting a hand on the ball. Looking for the interception was Matt Albanese.
And he did a good job of dropping to that zone, and he was right in the way.
Absolutely, and the problem was that he rolled to the left. If he had taken a quick 3-step drop, fired on time, it might have had a chance because they were running that slant. They were giving up the inside. You can't give up the inside down inside the 10-yard line as a defensive back. But he was giving up by position. You can see it from up here. You're gonna look at Delson on the outside to the left. We can't see him in the picture, but look, watch him roll. This gives Bonagoro time to get out in the flat, or Albanese and Bonagoro time to get out in the flat, knock the pass down.
And, you know, Matt Albany stole an interception from Bonagoro, who was right behind him, who might have been able to pick that off.
All right, into attempt at 28-yard field goal is Mike Hurley.
And he could do it, Barry. I was watching him in pregame, and he could blast this thing through with no problem at all.
Now they've just taken their 2nd time out. You saw Hurley kick some bombs into the end zone on the kickoffs.
Yeah, I don't think this is a Freeport timeout, and I think Russ is saying, what do you guys think? You know, or maybe there was a problem the way he's talking, but I think he goes with it. I think you kick it.
You know, Russ Selland, and we'll talk about Russ in just a moment, but right now let's check in with Hal Sass.
All right, Barry, thanks very much. You know, Freeport with 18 consecutive wins, and the thing that Farmingdale's up against is if you don't get to this team early, you just don't get to them. Freeport has not trailed at halftime in almost 2 years. They were down 14-0. They put 6 points on the board. But as you can see in the second half, Russ Selland speaking very firmly with his club. The first play of the second half, he called timeout because he didn't like the way things were set up. He spoke to them. He was very firm with his club. And now they march down the field, a chance to either put 3 or if they decide to do something else, more points on the board. So if you don't get to this club early, you're just not going to get to them. So Farmingdale really is up with their backs against the wall in the second half, back upstairs.
All right, Hal, you see the big score margin there, 214-40 coming into play today. Here's the 28-yard attempt that is up, and the kick is good.
And this is what makes Freeport a better team than last year. Because last year they would have had it gone for that right there. Now they're playing position football, scoreboard football, and they're able to get a field goal to increase the lead a little further. You know, last year they didn't have a kicker, so they would have went for it last year.
That's the key 3 points because Farmingdale scores a touchdown. The 2-point extra point was tied. Now Farmingdale has to have 2 scores. Good rush by the Dalers coming from the outside, but he drives it and drills it directly through.
Well, the soccer goalie for Freeport comes up big. You know, we were talking about Russ Selland a moment ago, and he's gone through a lot this year. He was going for his 100th game against Massapequa, playing against his son, and he had hoped that his father would be able to see that game. His son Mike plays for Massapequa, but his father passed away the week before, and both the father and the son played that very day that the grandfather passed away.
They played separate games against different teams. The following week, Barry, they played each other, and I know that the Freeport team, when they come out of the locker room now, Russ's dad used to stand by the locker room door. They'll all touch the locker room door where Russ's dad used to stand, and Mike Selland, the Massapequa player, very, very proud and very, very good player.
Mike Selland, of course, had hoped, as did Russ, that the grandfather would be there for the game that the father and son would be playing against.
And a great game by Massapequa in that game. They had Freeport at halftime, I think, and then
toughest game that Freeport's
exactly.
And you know, guys, talking to Russ down on the field before the game, he was saying that the real thing that got him through those weeks were his players. They really did a good job, and it wasn't for his players he wouldn't have got through it.
And Russ's mom is here for the very first time she's come out to a football game. Bouncing, Bradley will take it at the 5. Up the middle, the speedster. Ooh, and had one more play. He might have broken it to the 25. A 20-yard return for the diminutive Mr. Bradley at 5'3", 145 pounds.
You can see the concern right now on Buddy's face. Let's go, guys. He says, well, we got the ball on offense, and this is a big offensive drive right now for his team.
But, Tom, they ate up almost 7 minutes of the clock on that drive.
Yep.
And that hurts when you're behind. You need 2 scores.
But the positive for Farmingdale is that they only gave up 3. They didn't give up 6. So now they have the ball to see what they can do offensively.
14 plays, the 28-yard field goal by Hurley to give them a 17-6 lead. Lou Getzelman, who threw a touchdown pass in the closing seconds of the first half, will stay on the ground here. Bonaguro snowed under. Look at the speed of that defense as they stop him at the 15-yard line. Make it the 25, a loss of 1 rather.
And he's got to follow that hole because there's no way he can get outside of his defense. He's a fullback, 200 pounds. He needs to go straight ahead, north and south. He can't try to bounce it outside against this defense. Maybe another defense, but not this defense.
I'll tell you, Healy and Barrett have tremendous speed at the outside linebacker spots. They had a bigger guy in Eddie Gordon, of course, who was great last year.
They don't have bad speed at the inside linebacker. They got a middle linebacker by the name of Jerry Mackey, who's a heck of a ball player.
Absolutely. He's the nephew, of course, Mr. Mackey, former star here in Long Island. In trouble, gets him and snowed under at the 15-yard line.
And Barry, you're talking about John Mackey from Hempstead High School and the Baltimore Colts.
Tommy Grubbs, the basketball player, 6'2", 245-pounder, that a lot of 1AA schools are interested in. One of the men who got in.
Look at the pressure right now put by the Freeport defense. I mean, each guy, Farmingdale is trying to hold the men out, and you see the white jerseys in the backfield looking back as Freeport runs right past them.
But that's also a coverage sack because you're going to see him set up, and he's got nothing going on down the field. This pattern takes too long, and he doesn't have a chance.
So we've got third down and long yardage. Third and let's call it 19 from the 17-yard line. Tough situation for Getzelman.
Could be a quick kick the way they're lined up right now.
On the draw play, they had that one sniffed out. Nothing doing as Bonaguro stopped at around the 16-yard line. What a play by the defense right there, and they had that sniffed out, Tom. And that quick defense showing why it's so good. There is Atulaja, the 5'11", 205-pound junior who's on the wrestling and track team.
And he did a good job of recognizing the draw. Atulaja was locked up with the center and came off his block and did an outstanding tackle.
He squats almost 700 pounds. The Bonagura kick bouncing upfield. Takes a good bounce for Farmingdale. Eason fielded and goes out of bounds at around the 34-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 17, so that's about a 35, 40-yard kick.
It was a great kick and it got a great roll, and that's what you want. You don't want to put the ball high. You want to drive it low and get the roll if you can.
And a reminder, hope you're enjoying the action here. And you're watching the Freeport Farmingdale game exclusively on Cablevision Sports. And don't forget, next week we've got some great football coming away. Conference 2 here in Nassau County. We're going to have a great doubleheader. Lawrence against Garden City and Southside against McCarthy.
And how
That'll
about
be next Thursday.
The great job that Lou Andre has done now at Lawrence. He's undefeated, but who does he have to face? The team that gets to Hofstra every single year. Garden City and Tom Flatley's club is doing great.
I'll start with the very best. What a great defending champs from Conference 2. That great win last year. Pitch to the far side. Rietmeyer breaks a tackle, slips away again, elusively gets to the sideline and still on his feet as he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, he does a good job when he catches the ball, able to move after he catches the ball. As you said, Barry, elusive and moving down the field.
And good job with Josh Huggins on the outside with one hand trying to block, make it a stalk block. You see the effort. You know, he's got the cast on the left hand, but yet he's still out there trying to block. So you know he's not holding.
But
he's got the cast. He's only got one hand.
But all he has to do is screen, and he does. He gets his body between the ball carrier. You see that? He does a good job of screening on Will Presti. Rietmeyer getting to the outside, gives a leg, takes a leg. Robbie Bonagoro coming in, but he's out of bounds there.
Rietmeyer, a wrestler, showed some nice ability there, some spin moves. He's a wrestler and a lacrosse player, only a sophomore. As we mentioned earlier, he's got 5 touchdown passes this year. Very good athlete. Understands the offense. Second and short. Jinks trying to get the first down. Got close and then was driven back. Appears to have it. Randy Earl, one of the men in on the tackle, along with Matt Albanese. Albanese has had a terrific season, hasn't he, Tom?
He certainly has. He's a two-way player for 2 years, plays both offense and defense, and he's able to, he can track you down from sideline to sideline. 66 tackles, 2 sacks, a safety, a fumble recovery, and an interception so far this year. Big, strong, physical.
So he did pick up the first down, 2:25 to go. Freeport leading at 17-6. In case you're just tuning in, Freeport scored on their very first 2 possessions. Travis Jinks going in from 23 yards out, and 11 yards out as sophomore quarterback Randy Mills engineered 2 beautiful drives, and Farmingdale was back on their heels, then lost starting quarterback Matt Danowski with a shoulder injury on their 3rd possession.
So they were in trouble both offensively and defensively right from the opening gun.
From the shotgun, Mills with time, throwing deep upfield. Rietmeyer couldn't catch up with it as it goes incomplete.
And that was the pressure I was talking about, Barry. He had to let go a little early, so he overthrew his receiver because there was pressure coming in. And a real nice job by Chris Ryan, the 6', 220-pound senior, who came in and put pressure on Randy Mills.
And it was a good play. I was waiting for play call. I was waiting for this all day. Sit back there in that 3-deep zone, and what do? Run 4 verticals and tell the young man, pick the open guy. And that's what he did. But as you said, the pressure caused him to get rid of the ball a little bit too early.
Rietmeyer has caught 5 of the 9 passes completions for Mills, who's 9 for 16 for 83 yards. 2nd and 10. Freeport up at their own 44-yard line. Mills has been in there all the way on the pitch. Jinks trying to turn the corner and could not get away from Brennan, but he did pick up about 2 or 3 on the play, and also coming up quickly was Steve Panarelli from the secondary.
Oh, it's a nice job by Brennan and Panarelli on the corner to turn the play back in. You saw Matty Albanese coming from the inside back around, and as quick as Jinks is, he had to slow down when he had that corner, and you always have to help back to the inside. So it was only a gain of 2 or 3 on the play as opposed to sometimes his ability to break the long one.
Mills has the play from the sideline. Huggins now in the game. 3rd down and 7. Wayne, what do you look for as Jinx's numbers? 11 carries, 55 yards, and 2 scores.
I look for either the curl route in the hook zone or the stop route on the outside, something they've been doing all day long.
And Russ Sellen doesn't like what's going on. He calls his 3rd and final timeout of this second half.
He has no more timeouts left. And again, when you're up 17-6, it isn't as important to have the timeouts as if you were down 17-6. But he has used them all. And again, he didn't like what he saw. He knew it was his last one. He made the decision.
Russ has a great staff. Kurt Smith, Toby Elmore, Keith Brown, Jimmy Jones, who was a former Hofstra star, is working with the running backs. And good coach, great coaching staff. They all go together.
Absolutely, and Jimmy, of course, ran this, a super back position at Hofstra in the run and shoot. So he knows this offense. So he's able to tutor Travis Jinx, because Jinx was a receiver last year, primarily. Now he's full-time tailback. So he's getting to learn from a big-time college player here at Hofstra, and it's to their advantage.
Certainly is. Jimmy Jones is a great guy too. Just an all-around good person and a Freeport kid. So he comes up in the staff. It's nice to stay at home.
How many great players Freeport has produced, Tommy, over the last several
years?
I mean,
just how do you about when you go like a Clifton Smith going to Syracuse and starting his first game, Marlon Greenwood up at Syracuse, and we said before that Jerry Mackey's going there. Paul Pasqualoni at Syracuse knows what he's getting when he calls up Russ Sellen at Freeport.
Red, of course.
Red uniform, orange uniform. They don't really have to change too much. It's just a nice, smooth transition.
Hofstra's done very well with some of these Freeport kids, too.
Absolutely. It was Jimmy Jones, we just mentioned before, sure.
So we're down to 1:05 to go. Barry Laders along with Tom Howard, Wade Morris here at Hofstra. Nice crowd. Friday night football here at Hofstra. They've got a big game coming up this weekend against Villanova for the Atlantic 10 championship.
That's absolutely right. And Joe Gardy, again, glad to see Joe back roaming the sidelines and doing a great job, has his team in first place.
Well, Freeport has scored less than 20 points only once this year. We mentioned that 13-7 win against Massapequa, against his son's team, Mike Sellen. 3rd down and 7. Big play to keep the drive alive. Jinx breaks the tackle, has the first down. Earl had a piece of him, but he was able to break the tackle.
5 white jerseys laying on the ground as he went past them with his explosive speed, did a good job, and can break tackles. You can't bring Travis Jinx down with one arm or a light hit.
That's a big call. That's a big-time call. We're up here expecting a pass, and they come right up the middle, right through the A-gap. And they've been running up the middle primarily all day, and that's where they've been getting their success.
All right, fellas, let's check in with Jimmy Kabbalah.
On that Farmingdale defense, and in the words of his head coach Buddy Krumenacker, he fulfills the 3-prong criteria. If you run at him, he'll crush you. If you run away from him sideline to sideline, he'll find you. And if you throw at him, well, he'll drop back and he'll cover you. Buddy says he never likes to brag or compare linebackers, but he's one of the best he's ever seen. Barry?
Jinx trying to get away, could not get away from Bonagura, and helped out on the play by Selensky after he picked up about 3 on the play.
And what made this play, what allowed him to get around the corner, was our guy, one-handed Huggins, coming down on the crackback, took out 2 guys with one hand. So I don't know if we're going to look at it, but once again, a receiver, Tommy, coming down and making a block. You can see him on the crackback.
Did he take out 2 guys with one hand or one hit? Come on, he just used his hand.
Watch this. Boom.
There it is, one, and then he ran into the other. He got Will Presti on the corner, and Will hit one of his own players, and there's number 8, though, you see in the picture.
All right,
that's
Matt
Albany.
The final play of the 3rd quarter. The Red Devils score the only points in the quarter. They lead 17-6 as we head to quarter number 4 in a battle of the undefeated.
Get ready to have some fun. Neighborhood Journal gives you a backstage pass to all the action in your area, from community events to festivals to what's happening.
Hi, I'm Kathy Pelock, host of Neighborhood Journal. Join me each week as I take you to places to see and things to do right here on Long Island. Remember, it all begins in your own hometown on Neighborhood Journal.
Only on Cablevision local programming, TV that's close to home.
Maybe a sound.
Tone of music. Summer's Eve or spring. Flower, the wind, the ocean.
which shall wound.
Striking the electric chain, wherewith we are all darkly bound.
Watch HBO's Reverb on Cablevision.
Well, Buddy Krummenacker's club trailing as we begin the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 7 for Randy Mills. Jinks tripped up, falls forward. He was hit in the backfield by Brennan, but able to fall forward going north and south.
Nice job by Danny Brennan, though, to get his hand out there and trip him up, because if he didn't, there was a nice hole, and he would have been in the defensive backfield of Farmingdale, and it's tough to bring him down once you get to a head of steam.
Did an excellent job by Brennan. He was taking on the receiver in the slot at the line of scrimmage, held his ground, and came off the block very nicely to make the tackle.
Brennan, 15 carries for 70 yards, including the 2 touchdowns on the first 2 drives. So another big 3rd down play. Farmingdale needs to stop, Tom. They need to force a turnover to change momentum.
Well, we said that before, and they need to force a big turnover, not just a turnover, but maybe pick it off and go for a touchdown, maybe pick up a fumble and run for a touchdown.
Eason wide to the right, trips to the left side. Jinks the single setback on 3rd down. Jinks will not get the first down as he was met as he went to the line of scrimmage. Once again, Yinka Bosidi.
Now, it's a good, tough call right here, a good call depending on what he's going to do. You have the ball inside the 40. You could go for it and make it 4-down territory, but if you don't make it, then Farmingdale has a short field. If you punt, you put the ball down inside the 10, and Farmingdale has a long field. Let's see what they're going to do.
Well, if you ask me, I punt, pin them back. They got to score twice in 10 minutes. Give them the long field.
Doesn't look like that, though. It looks like they're going to go for it. And here is where the risk-reward ratio is in Freeport's favor, I think. The risk isn't that big because Farmingdale still has to score twice.
All right, 4th down and 4. From the shotgun. Quick kick. And it'll only go about 5 yards on the play, as it turns out.
And the umpire went down big time on that one, too. And let me tell you quickly about the quick kick. One of the things I think that we need to pick up on the quick kick is when you do the rocker step, you need to rock back, you rock forward, and when you kick it, you lean forward so the ball goes forward. What happened on that play just now is you saw Randy Mills lift his head up and lean backwards, and the ball went straight up in the air. You see the official right there.
He's laughing it off.
Yeah, it was actually the umpire who
those tough officials. You like those
took
guys.
a good hit.
But Coach Sellen was visibly upset. You work on these things all week, and it's a matter of repetition and technique.
And you see that's Dennis Crane who got a good hit there.
Well, Buddy Krummenacker hoping that Luke Getzelman could pull some magic here. With time, airing it out, looking downfield for Candy, and it's broken up. Back defending was Huggins along with Eason.
I want them to throw the football, but you can't throw in a double coverage. And that's the thing. You got to read that 2-deep zone. Huggins is trailing because he knows he's got help over the top. And Eason, who does an excellent job of coming off the hash and doing his job.
Watch Brendan Candy here. He's a little banged up when he gets up. You see Louis Getzelman get the ball. He delivers it down the field. But as he said, not only is it 2-deep coverage, Farmingdale isn't an all-out passing team. So generally they have to set the thing up with play action.
So it's 2nd and 10, back at the 29-yard line. 10:08 to go, fourth quarter. Dalers trail 17-6. Both teams came in undefeated. Getzelman had trouble with the snap as it bobbled in the air. Then he's taken down at the 25-yard line. A loss of about 4 on the play as Mr. Mackey was in very quickly to meet him.
And they looked like they were going to throw the football again, but he was a little quick out from under the center and didn't really have the handle on the football. And, cost a costly mistake. You're going to take a look. He pulls out. It looks like he may have pulled out a little early. Never really had the handle on it. He was fortunate to get it back. It does a good job of just holding on and going down.
Yeah, but again, take a look at the left side of your screen. Look at the quickness right now of the defense in the backfield. That was a defensive lineman right there. I believe Tommy Grubbs was the first.
It was also at his feet was a
Big O.
Big O.
Big O.
Atulaja on 3rd and 13. Looking to throw, looking downfield. It's going to be picked off by Huggins at the 40. Huggins will be down at around the 32-yard line.
Barry, if you take a look at this again, you're going to see there's going to be a penalty going on right now. probably a 15-yard unsportsmanlike. But if you take a look right now, you're going to see the defender catch the ball at the highest point. It's key. They had their eyes. They saw the pass. He went to the highest point, picked it off, and went down. You see right there, Don Lundigan, unsportsmanlike conduct against Freeport, brings it back. They must have said something as they got up.
Well, this is just a case of a young quarterback being in a bad situation. 3rd down at 14, trying to throw the ball down the field, and they're sitting back there waiting in the zone, and just basically 3 receivers in a route against 4 defensive backs and 2 linebackers dropping in coverage. And it was just a bad thing that was going to happen when you throw it up in the coverage.
Okay, this give Donnie Lundigan's crew a good call here. What happened is Huggins must have said something when he got up. They hit him right away. They said, we're taking control of this game, guys. You have a great football game going on. We're not letting any garbage take this. 15 yards, and you see the coaching staff at Freeport jump right on top of it and say, hey, that's not the way we handle things. That's not the pride we have in Freeport. So great kudos all around for the group.
All right, we got a big 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line here for the Red Devils, comfortably leading by 11. Remember, this defense has only given up 46 points in 9 games. Jinks trying to go outside. Jinks at the 45, at the 40, and down, and fumbled the football at the 33-yard line.
Jerry Mackey got on it. I think it's going to be Freeport ball.
Jerry Mackey, looked like Jerry Mackey.
Gain of 15 on the play. Hal Sass standing by, down on the field. Let's check in with Hal right now.
All right, thanks, Burr. You know, to start the 4th quarter, Russ Selland grabbed his team together and yelled out 3 times, nobody relax, nobody relax, nobody relax, put them away. The offense had the ball at the time. The offense could not get it done. They went on defense, but the defense came up big. So the put them away works on defense. It stayed true to them, and they were very supportive with the yelling and the screaming of the coach with those simple words, nobody relax, put them away. 8:45 to go here in the 4th.
And you want to know something? You can put them away on defense. When you only give up 5.9 points a game, you're putting every team you play away on defense. Farmingdale is right there, 6 points, 1/10 of a point less than the normal.
Hey guys, I'm sorry about the call before. It was Trevor Baum, number 59, the center, who recovered it from.
All right, Trevor, 5'11", 210-pound junior, first year on the varsity. He's done an excellent job replacing Saul Estrada, who was the center last year. Jinks chased from behind and driven out of bounds finally. Coming up from the secondary was Brendan Skakandi, but he showed some excellent speed to at least turn that corner.
And to me, Travis always looks like he's running downhill. It's amazing. No matter which direction he's going, he just looks so smooth. It doesn't look like he's really running, but he's moving. He's a smooth, what we call a smooth runner, kind of like Eric Dickinson from back in the day. I'm dating myself a little bit, Tommy, but he's just smooth. There's not a lot of arms flailing. He's just smooth.
He gives that leg too, and you can see it right there. He gives the limp leg and takes it away. Watch right at the end. Right now, he's going to make one quick cut to the outside. Now he gives the limp leg and back away from Brendan Sakandi.
Well, Jinks now closing in on the 100-yard number. He's carried the ball 18 times for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now working out of the eye. Barrett is the up back, and Barrett gets the call. And Barrett down at the 30-yard line.
At Albany with a nice, solid stick in the hole. That's the way the middle linebacker is supposed to step up in the hole, Tommy. You read those linemen, you step up in the hole, put your face mask right into the chest of the ball carrier. You gotta love that.
As Jimmy Cavallo said earlier, he said, you know, Matty Albanese, he can take you head on, he can take you sideline to sideline, or if you're going to pass, he can drop back. Usually does a real nice job. Here's a good look at Robbie Bonagoro.
Well, another 3rd down play. They've converted these 3rd down plays to keep the drives alive. Farmingdale's had the ball very little here in the second half. 3rd down, and let's call it about 3. Jinks got around, stumbles, getting a piece of him was Albanese. Just got a hand on his ankle.
That shows you the type of ball player Matty Albanese is. If you watch the film right there, you see him getting beat, no question, but he gives 100%, reaches out, and just gets the ankle, gets to the top of the shoe, to the back of the shoe to get him. Again, Jinks to the outside, there's Albanese chasing, and just gets him on the leg, and a fumble, but the ball goes out of bounds, so it'll be Freeport's ball, 4th and 1. Again, watch the extension, just enough to trip him up.
They tried a quick kick on 4th earlier, but this time I'm sure they'll go for the yard as Mills comes back from the sideline.
And look for them. I look for them to go behind number 62, Tom Grubbs, off the left guard. They've been having a lot of success running behind him so far tonight.
Well, Mills went on a quarterback keeper earlier to pick up a first down. Out of the eye.
Give me two, we got it. Unbalanced line coming this way to the bottom of your
Long
screen.
count. Mills will try Jinks. Jinks chased to the outside, and a fine hit in the open field on the tackle that time.
It'll be Farmingdale's ball. They didn't make the first down on that play. They had to get at least to the 18-yard line. They only went to the 19, so Farmingdale will be taking over. And a very good job by coming up and making the hit on that play. So, you know, Farmingdale did what they had to do. They stretched it out. They came up and they made the hit. Now they take over. 7:13 left to go in the fourth quarter, and Farmingdale has to come up with something big on this drive.
Chris Hargrove came up from the secondary, number 28, to make that hit. And he's able to get some help also from number 44, James Felon.
And Matt Albanese was also over there. I like that play. Everybody sold out on that play, Tommy. The back sold out. The corner came up and took on the running back. So that's a good contact play for your football fan.
Lou Getzelman taking over at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 will go to the air on first down. Complete, breaking away is Panarelli down the sideline, driven out of bounds by Javian Eason.
Barry, defensive back, went for the interception, went for the breakup, went to the inside. Nice job by Gesselman to get the ball in there. Panarelli does a good job of grabbing it, breaks back. Take a look. Louis drops back, delivers the ball on the money. Steve takes it on the inside and gets back to the outside.
As a defensive back, you have to come to Huggins has to come through the upfield shoulder, which he did, but that downfield arm has to be in the back of the defender. But, however, he's only got one hand. So it was a good job by Panarelli of feeling the defender and spinning the opposite way. Good play all around. Good opportunity to get an interception. But at this point, Tommy, you're up 17-6. You don't go for that interception. You make sure it's a short tackle.
He was thinking of that second interception, I'm sure.
You're a coach talking right now, and kids don't think that way generally. They see an interception, they go for it. They react naturally. And I agree with you in the fact that you have to play smart. But he saw that ball, believed he could get it, and went after it.
Ball at the 45-yard line. Fresh set it down. 7:06 to go. Farmingdale trailing by 11. Getzelman is 2 for 8 for 31 yards, including a touchdown and an interception. Bonagura had some blockers out there, but only picked up about 2 as he's brought down after a short gain on the play.
Tough to go sideline to sideline against the Freeport defense with their speed, unless you have some type of a crackback block from the outside getting the corner quickly for you, which there isn't there. So it's going to be, I mean, Robbie Bonagoro just is not going to be able to outrun that defense.
They need, and Gerard Bradley's coming into the game now. He should have been in on that play because he's the guy that could possibly get outside on this defense because he's got a lot more quickness than Bonagoro.
I don't know that anybody's going to get outside of this defense.
Healy made a fine play, the outside linebacker, Eric Healy, number 41. Bradley going in motion. Getzelman snowed under, and the ball loose as he was hit on the play. Freeport's number 2, Stephen Barrett, coming up with the big hit.
Came on the blitz from the outside, from the left side of the defense. They rolled away from him, and there wasn't enough guys in the pattern, and it was a kill shot. We saw it coming from up here.
Take a look from the bottom of your screen. You're going to see right there from the outside, Barrett coming in and just making the hit. I mean, it's just everybody. You can see Will Preston, the right defensive end, number 84 right there, staying back to block. But really what happens, if you add them up, Freeport had 6 coming, and Farmingdale only had 5 blockers, so they had that one extra man coming in from the outside to make the hit.
Well, it's the 4th sack, 3rd and 15. They were fortunate to recover the ball. Out over the ball will come Scott Gale. Let's see if they're blitzing here. They've got the front 4 there. Looks like Mackey wanted to blitz. Getzelman throws on the run. Almost picked off. He threw it right into the hands of the linebacker, Mr. Barrett. Barrett was looking at dreams of 6 in his mind right there.
A lot of times what happens is when you have it like that and you see it, you're thinking you're looking upfield before you should be, before you have the ball in your hands, and it looks just that way that Steve Barrett was counting them up.
And the difference, guys, between what's going on now with the passing for Farmingdale and what happened in the first half is they're coming with the pressure. First half, they sat back in the zone. They were putting pressure on the kid, and he was completing passes. Now, Getzelman is feeling the pressure because the defensive front five are coming after.
Well, they're coming after because there's only 5:24 left, and they know Farmingdale has to throw the ball, so they don't have time to have that long drive. They're
Nobody was back on the kick. Bonaguro will have this one down by his teammates at the 31-yard line, and it pretty much is academic right now with 5:15 to go. Freeport holding an 11-point lead again. They built a 14-0 lead on the first two possessions. They kind of stormed into this game, stunned Farmingdale, and that's really been the difference in the game, Tom.
It's been a defensive battle since then, and we knew we had two great defenses coming in here, and no one has done much since that. But you're absolutely right. When Mills came out, he did a great job driving the team down 2 times in a row for score.
I want to remind you folks that you're watching this Freeport Farmingdale Conference 1 showdown, Battle of the Undefeated, exclusively on Cablevision Sports. We've got great football coming your way next week. It'll be the Conference 2 games. We played here next Thursday. We'll have them on the air next Saturday for you. And it should be some great games. We'll get a look at Lawrence, along with some of the other fine teams, Southside, MacArthur, and some of the other teams. We'll see Barrett will be driven down as he got to around the 35-yard line. And, you know, the winner of Conference 1, which is going to be a great team, whoever goes on to win, going to play some very tough teams in Suffolk. Right now you got William Floyd and Sachem, 2 of the tough temes. William Floyd undefeated going into tonight's game.
William Floyd is undefeated, but don't leave out the Northport team. They have a great quarterback in Dow. They have some, and Sachem, Freddie Fitzgerald, year after year. So even though the Colonels out in William Floyd, the Colonials, I'm sorry, are undefeated right now, they have to go through 2 weeks of playoffs to stay undefeated to get to the Long Island Championship.
And, of course, we had a great Long Island Championship last year. That Cinderella Comac team, Wayne, gave Freeport all they could handle, losing by a point as they went for 2 to try to win that game in overtime.
It was the best game that we saw all last year.
And we're going to see Brian Tornay, the fine receiver for Comac, as Stony Brook's going to be playing in the game. You'll see right here on Cablevision as they take on Central Connecticut. And that game will be seen on Sunday. Many of you folks on Cablevision Sports.
And you got a couple of former Clint Riggs, also the linebacker from Comac's going to be out there.
Yep.
And Chimze Okome, former Freeport star from last year, is a starting defensive tackle. So you got a couple of
Sam Kornhauser's Seawolves have 4 or 5 freshmen who are starting on the defensive unit right now, and many of them are Long Islanders.
Very exciting players. So Freeport right now with 2nd down and 12 to go from the 30-yard line. Power I backfield. Jinx, the tailback, will get maybe to the 31-yard line as they're just content to hang on to the football. They have played an error-free game tonight.
Well, they know that, again, Farmingdale is going to have to score 12 points to win this game, and the only way that, they have only given up 5.9 a game, as we said all games, so it's going to be very difficult. They'll just take their time.
And the only score came with 10 seconds left in the first half on a surprise pass from Luke Getzelman, who, by the way, is filling in for the injured Matt Danowski. Mills, 9 for 16 for 83 yards. And Mr. Jinx, 21 carries, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns to lead the Red Devils to an apparent 8th win of the season. They will go undefeated in the regular season should they hold on to the lead here. Jinx tripped up.
Okay, guys, relax.
And it'll be another short gain. Nice play in the open field on the tackle.
Walter Selinsky comes up, makes a tackle. But let me tell you something. Will Presti did a real nice job. He was being doubled. He still fought it and turned the play back in. Corner for Farmingdale, outside linebacker Farmingdale, with the contained responsibility, took on the double team the whole way, but turned the play in. That gave time as he strung it out for Walter Selinsky to come up and make the hit.
And, I got to say, it was an excellent job by the Farmingdale defense after the first 2 drives. They knew once Danowski went out the game, they had no margin for error, and they've only given up 3 points. They've bent a little bit, but they didn't break in the second half, and that's a positive you take from this game.
And you know something, Freeport on their opening drive of the first half and on the opening drive of the second half scored. Take those drives away, and you can't take them away, but you take those drives away, delay a game penalty. You see Don London's throw right here. Farmingdale's played even up.
Get the secondary ready to go. Get the secondary ready.
So we'll have a 5-yard walk-off here as Freeport will be kicking. And in the game, Jared Jacks. Jack's normally, of course, been the starting quarterback. More often, he and Randy Mills have been splitting time, but tonight they've gone all the way with Randy Mills.
I think at some point Russ Sellon made a decision. He said, hey, this is my quarterback of the future. This is the guy I'm going with, and he has proven very smart doing it.
Jack shanks this off the side of his foot. It'll go out of bounds up at around the 45, 46, 7-yard line. So Farmingdale will get excellent field position, trying one more time to get on the board here.
And there's a flag on the play, and I didn't see any penalties necessarily. Maybe a couple of guys getting into a little scuffle on the block, and maybe one guy took it too far and they got a penalty on somebody.
Well, right now Farmingdale has the ball after the punt on the 46-yard line. If you remember, the only time Farmingdale scored is when they had a 44-yard drive right before the end of the first half. When they get good field position, they can work a little better, and they have the field position again.
Don't forget, Cablevision again will be your exclusive home for the Long Island Championships. That'll be coming up in December, the first week in December, Tom, because of the week postponement.
Well, we're actually going on a Thursday night. We're going to go the 29th, the 30th, and December 1st. They'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and we'll bring
all of the games for you. The Long Island Championships, class 1, 2, 3, and 4. And congratulations on the smaller school level to Cold Spring Harbor and Harborfields and some of the other schools. Babylon, they've had an outstanding season as well. Let's check in once again with Hal Sass.
Thanks very much, Barry. You know, it's interesting the way these two teams match up, and they end up matching up at the end of the season. As you mentioned, this game originally was postponed from back in September, and now they're playing the last game of the regular season, which is not unusual between these two teams. Last year, the last regular season game, these two teams met. Then they ended up playing in the county finals. Back in 1997, the last game of the regular season, Freeport was defeated by Farmingdale 22-21 to end an undefeated season. So their 7-0 season became 7-1. Freeport then won the next week in the playoffs. And now this season, the two teams meeting on the last game of the regular season. And I asked Russ Sellon if it would have mattered if these two teams played in the beginning of the season. He said both teams improved a lot over the course of the year, but Farmingdale really improved, more so than Freeport. But the loss of Danowski is definitely going to be the killer for Farmingdale in the playoffs. Back upstairs.
All right, Hal, excellent point. Russ Sellon's club since 1994, 62-13. Oh my, that's going to be ruled incomplete. When they come in, Mr. Butler, a house on fire, along with Ferguson.
Don Lundigan, the referee, right on top of that, because people are looking at it. Is that a lateral? Is that a pass? He's right there. That's a forward pass, son, and he blows the whistle and downs it.
And Charles Butler transferred from Baldwin. He was a linebacker at Baldwin last year. Now he's a defensive end for Freeport. So you go from Baldwin to the defending champs, and that's a good move.
You know, Baldwin may not make the playoffs, Tom, but what a great team they've had this year.
Let me tell you about Steve Carroll's club. They are the best non-playoff team on the island. I mean, there's no question about it. They gave Farmingdale fits last week. They're a great team.
Nobody to go to. Excellent coverage downfield. So it'll be sack number 5 as Getzelman goes down.
Well, here's the problem. When you don't throw the football and you're forced to throw the football, you have scheme problems. You have 7 people in coverage for Freeport and 3 receivers.
And they're teeing off on the defensive line coming forward, too, so they know your passes. So the front 4 can tee you off and come at you, and everybody else can sit back. So, you know, but let's not take anything away from this Farmingdale club either, Barry. They know they're going to have to get geared up. They're probably playing Elmont in the game next week to come back to get a chance to meet these guys. But if you think over the years, Farmingdale has been in a championship game almost every other year.
Incredible.
Every other year since 1965.
Getzelman as another wide open Steve Panarelli, who's been his primary receiver. And Panarelli, with good second effort, will pick up the first down as he gets inside the 40 to 38-yard line. You know, Don Snyder, who you took over for as athletic director.
This could be a terrible.
Oh,
this is Steve Panarelli. He's down, and you can see he's in pain. Joe Colleen from Plainview Physical Therapy out there, right? He's an athletic trainer right on top of him. And Steve, 2-time, he's in the finals of the Nassau County Championship. Great wrestler, great athlete, and down in a lot of pain with 1:14 to go in the game.
Tommy, I was going to mention the great tradition you've talked about, Farmingdale. You took over for Don Snyder as the athletic director. Buddy Krummenacher took over as the head football coach. 246 wins, and at that time he retired as the winningest coach in New York State history.
Yeah, Don Snyder was a tremendous coach, a tremendous individual, did so much for Farmingdale, and led those teams to those championships from 1965 for 36 years, 21 championship games. one every 2 years. Big Red Freeport, on the other hand, 18 in a row now, back to 1999, lost to Baldwin, and that was the last time the Red Devils have walked off the field in defeat. Again, another great history and a proud tradition with the Freeport football.
And let's go check in with Jimmy Cavallo with 59 seconds to play.
All right, guys, you know, when you grow up in Farmingdale, you hope to become a Daler someday, but what you start out is as a Farmingdale Hawk. Look at these guys in uniform. Their head coach is Stu Feiner. And Stu, you already got the program going for Buddy Krumenacker. You're starting them young.
No, absolutely, Jimmy. You start them at 5 and 6 years old. Their dream is to be a Daler. Right now, they're a Farmingdale Hawk.
All right, boys, let's start with the game faces and the growl. Let's see some action here from you guys. Big growls. Let's see the game faces. All right, how about a little chant here, boys? A little chant. Daler, 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 Daler.
Matt Albany's the intended receiver. Matt came out of that school of those growlers. He's a tough kid, 6 foot, 235-pound junior.
And Jimmy better hurry up and get out of that huddle before we don't have him here next week.
Jimmy C.
Did you see the number 12, the quarterback?
He had the face, huh?
On the bunch.
Second down and 5. They've never had the 5-yard penalty. Gets him in back to throw. Looking down for Presti. Defended against by Huggins, and Presti unable to catch up with it.
Good defensive. You watched right there as Josh Huggins defended him to the inside, had him. It would have had been a perfect pass by Getzelman over the top, which is a real difficult pass to throw. If it was short or inside, it was going to be intercepted by Huggins. Take a look at the inside position that Huggins has right here. He gets him drops back, lays the ball up, and take a look inside, turns and runs when he sees it's overthrown, has the inside leverage the whole time.
Panarelli has caught all 3 passes that have been completed by Getzelman. He's 3 for 13. He'll go to the air again if he can get it off, but he will be sacked and taken down. Sack number 6 on the evening.
That's a coverage sack. You got 3 receivers outside the numbers to the sideline and 4 defensive backs. And the pressure just got to him. I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
Big O is making his name again. On Elijah
Tommy
comes
Grubbs
in from the side. You see Tommy Grubbs?
That's Tom Grubbs coming from behind. That's a coverage sack. I mean, he had all day to throw. That's definitely a coverage sack. He's going to come out to the left side. He's got all 3 receivers outside the numbers. But look at all the red shirts down the field. That's the problem.
And red shirts right in front of him as it looks like the game is ending.
And
right
on
now.
that play, the game will end with the Freeport Red Devils going undefeated for the regular season for the 2nd time in a row. And now, let's see if they still have some time left.
Yeah, Don Lundigan is saying Farmingdale has a timeout, had called a timeout before the clock expired. On the game clock here, we have 0-0-0 at Hofstra, but there must be a couple of seconds left. Don is saying there's a timeout, marking his card to see which timeout this is in this half. The Farmingdale has used. We know Freeport used all 3 of theirs in the 3rd quarter, but there's 1 play left, and you can't score 9 points in 1 play. So
Russ Sellen's club, with an impressive performance today, came out and really set the tone with those 2 quick touchdowns. Then, of course, Buddy Krumenacker losing his star quarterback, Matt Danowski. That was a killer for his club today.
And again, now it's time to go back to the drawing board and find out. Again, we have to get through for both teams. I'm saying we, meaning Freeport and Farmingdale, next week in the first round of playoffs to get to the championship game. Hopefully these 2 teams will be meeting.
Well, again, hounding him was Grubbs and Ferguson, so he had nowhere to go. And Russ Sellen wins 102nd game in his outstanding 16-year career. The former Lindenhurst star who played for Bernie Wyatt, played for Dom Neely at Post, now takes his club into the playoffs with an 8-0 perfect record, and they look awfully tough.
They certainly do. I mean, they did everything that Russ Sellen said they could do. Quick defense, aggressive defense, hard-hitting defense, low-scoring defense. And on offense, we're able to move the ball. And with the sophomore quarterback, Randy Mills at the controls now, I'm sure you'll see him through 3 more years of this kid. My God, nightmares for all Division I teams, or Conference I teams in Nassau County.
All right, that's the story. We'll be back to wrap it up. The Conference I showdown, the battle of the undefeated, goes to the Freeport Red Devils. They win it 17-6.
It's the relentless nature of the storm. It's the thrill of exploring the world unknown. It's how weather affects your life. It's Atmospheres, a weekly magazine show. Sunday nights at 8 on the Weather Channel. Real people, real weather.
Don't miss the Weather Channel's weekly magazine show, Atmospheres, Sunday nights at 8. The Weather Channel. Real people, real weather. Watch it on Cablevision.
And back at Hofstra, the battle of the undefeated goes to Freeport in this Conference 1 showdown as they knock off Farmingdale 17-6. Standing by with one key reason the Dalers were beaten is our Hal Sass standing by with Travis Jinks.
Thanks very much, Barry. Joined by Travis Jinks. 22 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, boy, you got those 2 touchdowns early. You put 14 points on the board with your defense. It was pretty much a lock after that.
I had to do what I had to do and follow my line, everything. It's pretty tough in the beginning, then we pulled things to at the end and just came through with the victory. You know what I'm saying? It was hard in the beginning, but it may seem easy, but it really wasn't.
This has been a great rivalry. Every year you guys seem to meet up, and coming into the game, you guys had to stop on defense. Matt Danowski, he went down, but their backup quarterback did a nice job.
He did a pretty good job. They're a pretty good team. You know, they're going to go far. Just you're going to have to do good and prepare for 2 weeks. They say 2 weeks, but give them 2 weeks. Come back strong.
When you talk about your quarterback last year, you had Chris Roche. Now you're in there with a sophomore, and you're telling me walking over here, he's done a great job this season for you.
He's done a pretty good job. Randy Mills, he's done an excellent job. You know, Jared Jacks, both of them. You know, after we had to come back with the Thorpe Award winner, Chris Roche is gone, now we have to find a replacement. It wasn't easy. But Randy Mills and both Jared Jacks stepped up to the challenge, you know, had to fight for it.
Have a look at one of your 2 touchdowns there. You were just barreling over people. This year you're 8-0, obviously going into the playoffs, playing as great as ever. Compare this team to last year's team.
We just have to be a little bit stronger than last year's team. You know, we had the Pine Award winner, the Thorpe Award winner, you know, to keep things going. Now we got me, the Brickashaw Ferguson, Jerry Mackey, Thomas Grubbs to lead things through. You know, we got to follow in our own footsteps, you know what I'm saying? Because following them, you know, it's not going to bring us anywhere. We have to do it ourselves.
Undefeated regular season. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right, Travis Jinks, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns as he leads Freeport to a 17-6 victory. That's it from down on the field. We close it up upstairs with Barry, Tom, and Wayne.
All right, Hal, thanks very much. Well, defense wins games, and defense was a story tonight, holding Farmingdale to 6 points, and it set the tone early, and Jinks offensively did it as well.
It certainly did. And as a coach, I'm looking and I'm thinking in my mind, how do I defend a kid like Travis Jinks? How do I defend a kid like Randy Mills? It makes it nightmares for the defending coaches. It's going to be tough for somebody to pick those guys off this season.
And we didn't even talk about the receivers. Eason and Huggins really weren't part of the game plan, you know, in terms of the big plays, but they have a lot of weapons. And that defense, I mean, we talked about giving up 5.5 points a game. Well, they did a poor job tonight. They gave up 6. So, you know, the defense is just tremendous, and the team speed is outstanding.
Give credit to who credit's due. To Brickshaw Ferguson, Tommy Grubbs up front, Jerry Mackey, Big O with a lot of Waja.
The D did it, and Freeport now goes into the playoffs undefeated. That'll do it for tonight's game. Again, you see the final: Freeport 17, Farmingdale 6. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Adelphi University. Check them out at www.adelphi.edu or 1-800-ADELPHI. And by Cablevision Local Programming, TV that's close to home. So for Tom Howard, Wayne Morris, and all our crew, including Hal Sass, Jimmy Cavallo, statistician John Brajevich, our director Sean Mangan, and our producer Barry Landers saying for Pete Kohler, good night, everybody, and thanks for watching Cablevision Sports.
Turn on New York, Metro TV.
You've been watching a special presentation of Cablevision Sports. Now back to Metro's regularly scheduled programming, already in progress on Cablevision.
Up in here, y'all gonna make me go all out. Up in here, up in here.
This is your favorite spot. Tell me why. Tell me why you love it.
Pastrami, the big pastrami sandwiches, Swiss cheese.
But how
and
do you
mustard.
eat all that and look like that? See, I eat all that and look like this.
Yeah, because my metabolism is a little quicker than yours.
A little quicker. Okay.
No, I'm cool.
Apple pie? Shake?
No, I'm straight.
Listen, have a great season.
All right, thanks.
All right, and stay healthy this time. Remember what I told you. Don't run into the pig.
Yeah, try to slide. Yeah,
slide through
away.
the pig. And take it easy on the Knicks, man.
God, Kenny reminds me of myself. All right, that's it. My thanks to Sweet Lou Dunbar, Hurricane Orlando Antigua, Lou Duva, and Pat Cooper, and thanks to you for watching. I'm Bill Patrick. Remember, if you're going to dribble, use a basketball. Good night.